Okay, so sound yet? Give it 30 seconds. Give it 30 seconds. All right. So yeah, just give it 30 seconds. Yeah, you never know like what random issues you might get sound-wise. So I am not surprised that something goofy happens with sound. Great. Yeah, just give it a 30 seconds. So there's a 30-second delay on the thing. So anything that I fix isn't gonna get fixed for you for a few minutes. So great. I'm glad you guys can finally hear me. Long story short, we are very early. This is the what is this? The February live show. It's gonna the actual coral selling portion. It's gonna start at 2 o'clock as planned. But yeah, in the moment we'll just hang out a bit and make sure that there's nothing else going on. DC Reefer. All right, so DC. Let's see. I'm gonna do add moderator. There you go, DC. So DC, CJ, and Rico. Well, actually, those two guys went to visit Rico. Rico brought them here. We went out to lunch, and after all this talk about hot wings and hot sauces, I took a whole bunch of different sauces out with us to Chili's. Could you leave that open a little bit more? Because I want to get some ventilation. Thanks. So yeah, we went out to Chili's and just went down like the gauntlet of hot sauces. Now I have to say, DC, that whatever it is on that Hot Wings show, Hot Ones, that they say is the hottest, you know, like their own sauce, it is nowhere near as hot as Da Bomb. So you know how like they like all the guests go up to that one point and then they taste Da Bomb and they're like, ooh, wow, this sucks. That sauce is way hotter than the last dab, and it's not even that close. Like it's only like 100,000 Scoville, which means that basically Scoville's not a relevant system, because like the last dab is something like 2 to 3 million Scoville, and this other sauce is like 100,000 Scoville. That 100,000 Scoville one is way worse, way worse. So if you're ever back in the area and you want to try it, we have some. All right, so Brad Ackerman is asking, how do you purchase? So let me throw up the rules here. Sound? Huh. Okay. Sorry. I need to keep a better eye on that. When I change these overlays, I see that like sometimes it drops out sound, so I need to make sure that the sound still picks up. Thanks for keeping me posted on sound. Okay. So anyway, where was I? The rules. So in order to actually purchase stuff, you check out with it. You just put it in a shopping cart, check out. Shipping, as it says there, flat rate $39.99, and it's free for orders over $250. So in order to actually get the corals, you have to finish the checkout process. So if you are just like putting stuff into your shopping cart and just waiting till the very end, you might find that a lot of those are actually gone. So it's okay to place multiple orders. Just make sure that you select live sale every single time so that you're not charged like multiple things of shipping. That's all. Okay. Never eaten spicy in a while, tolerance is gone. Yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of have to build up, and if you don't build it up properly, it could go poorly for you. I mean, that's kind of what I was doing for like a long time, for like the past couple months, was just you're just trying progressively hotter and hotter and hotter sauces, because it turns out some of these like super hot peppers are actually really tasty. So things like habanero, I think, are completely delicious. And it turns out that also Carolina Reaper, which is a very, very, very spicy pepper, is, I love the flavor of it. You just have to kind of get over the heat. So the people helping out today, we have Ben. So yeah, you can actually see him as a moderator in chat here. And also Michael is here. He's going to be operating the camera for the first part. These guys will probably switch on and off. But I don't know if Rico's reef tank is going to be coming today or not. There was no plan for him to come, but then I caught his live stream this morning. He was at a frag swap nearby, and I was just kind of like trolling him a little bit. And then he said, "Hey, you know, like I think I might stop by afterwards." And I'm like, "All right." So if he happens to show up, great. So there's that. All right, real quick. Let's talk about the Patreon crowd. So, Patreon, if you guys already don't know by now, it's a platform that allows people to help fund YouTube creators. This is just a place where, like, if you just wanted to give us any support, we like thoroughly appreciate it. Obviously, you don't have to. This is a selling live show anyway, but these folks here have all donated at the $5 level or above. And so they get a shout out during this stream. So thank you very much, Mark, Alan, Trevor, Kevin, Mark, Samuel, Phil, Robert, Ryan, Dave, Nate, Steve, and Christopher Curry. All right, guys. So I'm like just reading chat here. It's awful weather-wise outside. This entire week has been incredibly rainy, and it's warmer. That's what's really nice. Well, if Rico does happen to come here, I need to ask him about his shipping drama, because this winter, for whatever reason, was a lot colder and snowier than in years past, and because of that, it was like had all sorts of issues with packages getting delayed, with just like the cold temperatures in general causing issues, to the point where I wanted to start running experiments, because I wanted to see what was actually going on in these boxes. So we went on eBay, ordered up some like battery powered like temperature monitors that could actually do like graphing and stuff like that. And we just started to set up like different boxes. We heard that by punching holes would allow more oxygen to get to the heat pack. So we were saying, well, how many holes is best? So we tried different boxes with different number of holes. We tested it in different temperatures outside. We tested it with different locations of the heat pack, all kinds of stuff. So we're just collecting data, because there was like a stretch for about a month where like all kinds of problems with shipping. And so that kind of got us like really conservative with when we would ship out. So occasionally we would just start like not even shipping if it was like 40 degrees or anything like that. So, all right, hold on one sec. Is there a squirrel behind me or something? Me. Yeah, could you please stop? Like my mom is, I think, trimming plants or something like right behind the green screen. All right, I need to turn off my phone. Usually I do this earlier in the process. All right. Let's see. And I will get to some questions here in a bit. I want to also make, like, so because I do this on a laptop, I can't like see chat that I can actually scroll up and down with, as well as my audio meters. So it's kind of bad in that regard. I did get like a new desktop, but there's all because it's the desktop is too new. It doesn't work with my capture cards. Like the connection, like I've got lightning cable connections from my capture card. So basically, I've got a camera. You need to put it through a capture card before it goes into the computer. Capture card and a new computer don't talk, so I'm still stuck with my laptop here. So, Mom, DC says hi. DC Reefer. One of those two guys that came over? Hi, yeah, she says hi, DC. Lawrence, I'm here to learn coral names. Love your videos. Now look for Alveopora and not call them Goniporas. Great. Yeah, so we try to get the names more or less correct, but we make mistakes all the time. And the other thing is, like, it's a moving target sometimes. A lot of these coral names change. I'm not talking about like the trade names, like the funny names. I'm talking more about like just like the different corals themselves. So like Acanthastria Lord Howensis, so Acan lords, they got reclassified as Micromusa, things like that. So we try to stay on top of that. In our last video, the one about clove polyps, somebody in the comments, I think it was, I don't know, is it Mandrake that mentioned it? But it's actually not a clove. It's a clove in common coral terms. It's like a blue clove, but completely different genus, completely different species, obviously. So yeah, I mean, sometimes even in my coral specific videos, I'll mess up that single coral. It's like, you had one job, mess it up. Okay, Stephen Smith. Than, what coral do you think has made you the most money? It's not even close. It is red sea pulsing xenia, like the most common coral you can possibly imagine. See, Marvin, 75 is a good size to start with. It's pretty good. I started with something very similar to a 75. If you're looking at that same footprint, slightly larger footprint, a 125 or 120 might be better. It's 4 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. I forgot how long a 75 is. It's 48 inches, 4 feet. CJ's Aquarium's like, yeah, random two guys. All right. So we got a whole bunch of new fish, and I hate buying fish. I absolutely hate it because we introducing new fish to these systems has always been just a huge adventure. Just because, like, generally speaking, the fish come in nice and healthy, and that's always a very stressful process, is getting in fish healthy. But for whatever reason, my fish that are currently in the systems are just homicidal. Most of my tanks are pretty big. Like, they're 240-ish. I mean, some, like, my biggest tanks are 240 to 300 gallons. And a couple of these tanks only have, like, 2 fish in them. But if I add anything to those tanks, those 2 fish will manage to kill it. It's like, the heck is this all about? So, in the new system, I've got a new headquarters being built right now. I'm thinking no clownfish, no tangs. Like, you'd think that like yellow tangs, they're pretty normal. Though all of my yellow tangs in here just turn vicious, like super murderous. And they're not in small tanks. I mean, one is in like a 90, which is kind of small, but the rest of them are in huge tanks, and boy, they are just mean as all hell. I won't even try things like powder blues or anything like that because even on like the scale of tangs, they're super, super aggressive as far as tangs go. We have a hippo tang that we got that was like about the size of a quarter, and it's since gotten huge, and we need to relocate him too. But yeah, long story short, I'm done with tangs. I'm sure that we're gonna end up getting some just from like from rescues and things like that. But if I could at all avoid it, no thanks. So usually for algae control, I like to go with fox faces, but Ben actually got stung by our biggest fox face the other day. Has that healed, by the way? Is that a lot better? Okay. Because it's supposed to be like worse than a big bee sting, right? But I'm just thinking like a bee sting sticks with me for about a week. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't stick around. I've never been stung by one. Huh. So in chat, have any of you guys ever been stung by one of those guys, by a fox face? Like in all of my years, knock on wood, it's never happened. Okay. Yeah, like these fox faces are super tame. Like that one is not a freak or anything like that that's just gonna go like dart around. It's just that he's like a dog, right? So they'll just come right up to you and just like hang out. So especially if you're scraping algae, they like to get the algae scrapings as you go across the glass. And so they might just be right on top of you all the time. So if you're not like looking, you might kind of get stuck, but be more careful. Okay, we're basically ready. I've kind of gone over all my different announcements and whatnot. So, get started. Hello? Did we lose? I wonder. It's weird, like, because I even was paying attention to the audio this time, and I made sure that like after the screen change that I could see the audio meter, and yeah, that's weird. I mean, I can see like I can see when the sound comes back. It's just that I don't know why it went away to begin with. That's really weird. So it's gonna be. See, I think a part of the problem is I keep on using the same broadcasting file. I think every now and again I should just rebuild the file, like because software updates happen, the operating system updates, and who knows what kind of bugs it's introducing, especially if I'm using like an older file. So anyway, yeah, just keep me posted on that. All right, let's move on. So I guess so Rico, are you gonna show up or not? Are you coming here? Or are you just gonna go home? It's okay either way. All right, let's move on. So Michael, 25 seconds, not 2 minutes. All right. So go on to the next one. No, we're on number 2.
I was on number 2.
Oh, you were on number 2?
I was on number 2, yes.
Huh. Were you? Hold on. So this is not good. This thing's not my. You know when I was like talking about my capture card? My capture card is not reporting. So hold on. We're gonna try to do a couple of things differently here. I'm gonna have to restart this stream if this is still all buggy. Dude, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, guys, I might have to restart the stream. I'm like getting all kinds of like random errors and things like that. So just bear with us for a sec here, and hopefully I can get this thing rectified because this is the first time that my capture card doesn't work. That's like very, very strange, like really strange. So yeah, let's see what I can do. Okay, give me just a few minutes. So I don't know if we're back or not. Are we back now? Ah. I 100% blame Rico. That's right, chat. No, I'm kidding. That was weird. So let's see. How how much is this gonna actually work and stay working? Okay, so sound is good. The video is working. So far, so good. It's like, yeah, it's like when you said, yeah, I'm on number 3 now. I'm like, I'm not. It's like, that's not good. Hey, wait a minute. My picture's not moving at all. That's not good. All right, so now we can go on to the third one.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Number 3.
This is the beauty of live media, guys. Sound good? And somebody says the end is gone again? No, not this time. That one's on you, Goron. I still got sound here. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging in. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a delay, and hopefully I don't have to keep on doing this because it's I'm definitely getting this this vibe that the stuff is kind of getting corrupted. This file. So
Number 4.
all right. Still good. I'm going to change this thing here.
Yeah.
I'm not. Never mind. I'm not going to get too greedy. Top, bottom. So one thing that's kind of like nice about the like I said, we had some really crummy weather. One thing that is nice is that because it's so dark outside, the corals actually look nicer because you're getting like less sunlight interference. So it's a silver lining to that anyway. Okay, so we're number 5. All right, let's see if I can get to some questions here. Okay, so it's cutting off on Comcast. So let me see what I can do for you here. Up and to the right, how about there? So 40B nasty. Let me know if that works out for you there.
Number 6.
Number 6. Type 40. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Type 40. You missed all the little technical difficulties that went on with both sound and video. So it's a good thing that I started a little bit early because it's like, what on earth is going on? I'm looking forward to the time where I can start ordering tanks myself. I see some folks in chat talking about, oh, yeah, please ignore that snail that's making that, making everything close up. But yeah, it's gonna be so long before I can have something that resembles a building, and then something that resembles a bank account that can actually purchase all the stuff that we're looking to put in there. So what's the best food to feed bounce mushrooms to make them replicate faster? Um, that's a good question. If I was to try to feed anything, I would probably look at maybe mysis, because it's not too large. It's highly nutritious, and if you lower the flow enough, because a big part of the reasons why a lot of rhodactis and people with rhodactises don't feed them is because they're not really great at capturing food. So you kind of have like cut the flow entirely and just let the food settle on them and before they're able to eat it. And if you do that with mushrooms in general, you'd be surprised at how willing they are to eat different food items. They'll eat pellets, they'll eat all sorts of stuff. Do you ever plan on shipping to Canada? Unfortunately, no, we do not. We only ship to the US. Um, I still don't have like my mind wrapped all the way around international shipping of any kind, but I am talking to more and more like wholesalers and stuff like that overseas. So I'm not gonna cut the possibility out entirely, especially once we start getting the new building operational and really have large volumes to move. It's just that like right now, it's not something that we focus on or know a lot about. And if you're looking to get stony corals outside of the U.S., I think that's also quite a bit of a challenge. Like, I don't think that there's. The last time one of my friends had checked, she's in the UK, and she basically said there's no CITES quota for export of stony corals outside of the U.S. So I don't know.
For 11.
I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked into it personally, but that's what she said, and she does quite a lot of international shipping. So we shall see. Something fell down. Was that you? Oh. Maybe it's just in my mind. Than, do you ever go in the live streams? Don't know what that means, Dennis. Don't know what that is. Okay, so E.T. Manning. Ben will give you the text version, but long story short, yes, you have to check out completely. Just select local pickup / live sale, and that will make sure you don't get charged shipping each time. You do not get it reserved just by placing it in the cart. Placing it in the cart really doesn't do anything. So let's pause on that coral for just a sec. I'll quickly go over the rules right now, okay? So this is the rule set. To purchase, you go to tidalgardens.com into the live show section, and to actually purchase corals, check out every single time, because putting it in the shopping cart just by itself doesn't really do anything. Shipping is a flat rate $39.99, or it's free over $250. And if you happen to pay for shipping twice, or eventually get to a shipping total that's over $250, but you've paid shipping before, don't worry about that. We refund the difference and whatnot. So that, in a quick blur nutshell, that's it. So once you're done shopping, just just have a little mental total of what you've purchased. If it's below 250, purchase the shipping module. If it's over 50, don't worry about it, and we will send everything out together. So as for shipping dates, we should be good to send most of it on Monday. Now, if 14, okay. So if we are super overloaded on Monday, some of them will get pushed to Tuesday, but we'll work it out if you need a special delivery, a ship or delivery time, okay? But generally speaking, we try to get everything out on Monday. Stephen Smith, is Red Sea Xenia just pulsing Xenia or a certain type of pulsing Xenia? I would say it's a type of pulsing Xenia because pulsing Xenia comes in many forms. The kind of the short, stockier pink ones are the Red Sea variety. The ones that are kind of like longer, more brown in color, that's more of like an Indonesian variety. We haven't had that in a very long time. For whatever reason, Xenia does well in certain systems and Xenia does very poorly in others with very little rhyme or reason to it. And because of that, the brown Indonesian stuff tends to do very poorly here, while like the shorter pink Red Sea variety goes crazy. And we've sold a ton of it over the years. It almost looks like the sun is coming out. Aw, thanks, Type 40. So thank you very much for that super chat. So you guys absolutely don't have to do this, but I appreciate the heck out of it when you do. You can do super chats, and you may have seen this on other streams, but if you wanted to give us like a tip or anything like that, just like a Type 40 did, you can do that by hitting like the $ button at the very bottom left there, right by the emoji thing. And yes, I appreciate it because this new building, it's a little expensive. Who knew? But yeah, it turns out that building big structures and doing all the plumbing and electrical and just all the regulatory stuff you need to do, it turns out that it's quite an endeavor. So I'm restarting stream.
You're a little close on that one, Michael. And yeah.
It's okay. I like it. So let me know when we're back again. Okay. Yeah, I saw that on my screen. I was like, uh-oh. As soon as I saw like like these red bars start popping up, I'm like, that's not good. Sometimes like when it's like really wet and rainy out, we get like just an interruption in the stream quality. It's like, so another thing, I think I have this monthly complaint about internet access, but everybody is getting fiber except me. So Ben lives just down the street here. The street here is called 162 or Copley Road, and it's like a state route. We're in like Podunkville nowhere. That's why like all this land here is like residential / agricultural. And in one sense it's nice because we can build cool buildings with like not a ton of stress from the city. That's nice. But the other problem is you're in the middle of nowhere, so you don't exactly get cool stuff like fiber. But at Ben's apartment complex, they're running fiber to it. And like my personal trainer, my other business partners for other companies, they're all getting fiber from their local municipalities. But here, nope, we get nothing. Everybody else gets fiber, and none of those other guys broadcast. So okay, so let's see. Lawrence, Paleothel looks like a Zoa. How do you tell them apart? Honestly, most things that people call Pallies are really Zoas. long story short, there's actually very few Paleothoa in this hobby. A lot of times, even what you're seeing currently here at number 18, they call that they would call that a pally just because it's larger. But in reality, Paleothoa are very specific, like Paleothoa grandis, like some of these other like kind of these Caribbean greens, things like that. Did you go to number 19? Okay. So long story short, if it kind of has these kind of like rounded tentacles, chances are it's going to be a zoa and not a pally. But I think the one big defining characteristic is that Paleothoa incorporates substrate into its body, whereas zoanthids don't. Hopefully that helps a little bit. There's I know a researcher that's in Japan that's doing like genetic testing of these zoas and pallies to help further differentiate. So again, I don't know if you've heard from the beginning of the show, but classification it's a moving target. Things do get lumped into different buckets, and that does change over time as more information comes up. Lenny Kruger, I'm in Akron and can't get fiber. Don't feel bad. Yeah, it's like Fairlawn. Like Fairlawn is a local nearby neighborhood here. They decided just to put in their own fiber service, and that's gone pretty well from what I understand. So they all get gig service. The same cable company that operates here in Cleveland is offering fiber to some of their wealthy neighborhoods, but here it's like I have a feeling that we're not gonna benefit from any of this. Well, and just down the street, like I said, Ben's apartment complex. Yeah, it's like 2 miles away. But 2 miles may as well be on the top of Mount Everest when it comes to fiber install. It's like it's not just going to show up. You know, they're going to have to trench 2 miles of cable from that point to here. They're getting fiber because they don't broadcast. You won't get it because you do. That, you know, that is a pretty woke comment there, because I totally believe that the restrictions around upload speed is purely because the people that are providing internet also provide cable television, and they don't want you to be a content creator and not be using their other service. But these days, so many people are content creators. There's so many more YouTubers now than ever before. There's so many people on Twitch now, all the different live streaming platforms. Yeah, so we shall see how this all goes. If I get fiber, oh my gosh, guys, the quality of this stream is going to be 10 times better. Easily 10 times better. Jamie Garcia, love your channel. Thank you very much, Jamie. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. I'm curious about everyone's thoughts on black box LEDs. So, yeah, definitely in chat, let them know. I personally have never used them. I think that the number one complaint when it comes to things like black box LEDs is their the kind of like the reliability is kind of low, just because of quality control, perhaps, in the manufacturing process. I've heard a lot of times like just the lights will fail over about a year, but the cost savings still might justify it. You kind of have to figure that out for yourself, as far as like your risk reward on your lighting. Is it going to explode or anything crazy like that? Probably not. When we use really cheap lighting here too, they're fluorescents, but they're not LED. What's up, Tech Gear Talk? We are drinking water. We are super boring today, and my man, you missed out on all this like ridiculous technical difficulties I had starting the stream up. Just all the gremlins came out of the woodwork. Had audio issues. I had my capture card issue. Like everything was going wrong. Had to basically just restart my entire broadcasting software, and just like hope that fixes it. Yeah. So people always ask because I'm using these really inexpensive T5 units from Amazon. And they're always asking, like, can we get an update on those? Are they still good? And they are still good. The only problems that we've ever had where there's two fixtures, and we have a dozen, if not more, probably closer to 20 different fixtures. Two fixtures had one bulb with a bad connection. Now, I could just package this all up and take it back and get a new one, or I could just ignore it. And I decided to just ignore it. These are 6 bulb fixtures. If the 6th bulb doesn't work, not the end of the world. I'm in a greenhouse anyway. But yeah, so you're gonna have some quality control issues from like super cheap lighting coming in from China. But we haven't had to send any back, and literally those are the only 2 bulbs that didn't work. And you can wiggle them a little bit. The lights do kick on. The lights kick right back off in an hour for that particular, just that single bulb. So, long story short, you're not going to be getting like tip top quality, but it's not the end of the world. And the bulbs themselves have been very good. I use the ATI branded bulbs, and yeah, they've done very well. So overall, I'll live with it. BRS did a good video on black box LEDs. If you haven't watched it, I have not watched it. I did see their. To be perfectly honest, I don't watch a lot of reef-related content, but I did catch their T5 study where they were showing intensities over time, and I was pretty surprised at how well the ATIs had kept up, even after like a long period of time. Because spoiler, we have never replaced our bulbs since getting these new fixtures. So I had to look back to see when was the first time I even did a video on these lights, and it was about a year ago. So right now you are seeing all of these corals under 1-year-old T5s, and they've grown really nicely all winter. They still work. No tubes have burnt out or anything like that. So I mean, a lot of the math around whether or not T5s are worth it was bulb replacement cost. I mean, obviously they consume more. They consume more electricity. They put off more heat, but the bulb replacement cost can get crushing. But it turns out if you can run your lights for a year, suddenly your bulb replacement isn't nearly so bad. So E.T. Manning, about the cost of bulb replacements, it's definitely, if you assume for a moment that you're going to be getting the same performance from LEDs as you do from T5s, then yes, that would be an equivalent comparison. However, I don't know if you can say that. I don't know if it's possible to say that you're going to get the same growth, same coloration or anything. And in particular, color. Because here we might get great growth out of a particular coral under any different type, any kind of lighting technology, LED or T5. But if they're not colored up properly for sale, you can't sell any of them. So it kind of depends on the coral. It kind of depends on the light. And we're still taking a look at the different LED fixtures to see if that's something we want to go with in the future. Because obviously I would rather not pay more for electricity. I would much rather not pay for bulb replacements. I would rather not have to deal with additional heat. But if the LEDs are not producing the corals at a particular speed that's acceptable or a particular color that's acceptable, then those lights simply do not work for us. But again, we're still evaluating. I got plenty of time. It's not like this building is like up and running right now. Tanks are filled with water. No, none of that's happening. So No hurry. Who knows? There might be an Ecotech Radeon Gen 5 by the time that I'm looking at lighting, so we'll see. No hurry. I missed the context of the ongoing discussion. It sounds like something to do with significant others in this hobby.
Well, I do spending
Oh,
ways to get rid of it.
I am not even going to open up that can of worms. I'm just saying that there's a lot of snitch potential there. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave myself out of that. So hello, Eco Marines. For those of you guys that don't know, and for you guys that are in like in the UK market, Eco Marines is a coral and fish wholesaler, and she's got great stuff. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, you might want to go on that site and see which retailers are carrying corals and fish from her. Quick plug there for you there, Laura.
Number 34.
That Tang is mad. You were in there talking bad about him. Yeah, that Tang might have killed a couple of wrasses and possibly my copper band that I put in there. Here from Singapore, so jealous of the variety of corals you guys have. I am jealous that you live in Singapore. Singapore is like in my top 3 favorite places I've ever visited. I had such a good time there. I was only there for 3 days, and I am trying to convince my friends to come with me on another trip to Singapore. Perhaps it won't happen in 2018, but hopefully in 2019 we can score a flight. I loved it there. I absolutely loved it there. I can't say enough nice things about visiting Singapore. It was such an impressive place, and everybody says it's like, oh well, I shouldn't say everybody, like the locals that were showing us around, like, but it's so small, and it's like that country I think has 12 million people. This whole area here has like less than 1 million people. So believe me, this place is plenty smaller than Singapore.
6.
Got some different micromusa, it looks like. Yeah, Wes, is it better to buy saltwater ready to go or to buy mixed? Yeah, it's been answered there. Yeah, generally speaking, you want to be mixing it yourself.
Number 37.
If you do a search on this channel, not right now, obviously, but I did a video of my trip to the SEA aquarium. It's very impressive. Very cool. Jamie. So Jamie Garcia is asking, besides water quality, flow, and lighting, what are the other keys in keeping SPS alive?
Number 38.
Those are the main things. Now, that's like 90 something percent of the problem. But the devil's in the details. So each of those could be a doctoral dissertation on their own. But one thing that people often kind of forget when it comes to corals in general is just feeding, and just like feeding the heck out of stuff, and actually making sure that it's being consumed by the coral could go a long way.
Number 39.
It's funny that so Ratish Varma. It's funny that you mentioned mangroves, because I haven't ever owned a mangrove ever. So I've been doing this hobby 30 years. I've never ever had mangroves, but in this new building, I would actually like to give it a try. So from what I understand about mangroves is that they can grow in salt water. I think they prefer more brackish water than like really heavy salt water. But the way that they process the salt water, they end up getting like this crusty film on their leaves that has to be sprayed off occasionally. That's really the only thing. That and light. And I guess they soak up some magnesium out of the water as well, so you kind of have to keep like a closer check on magnesium, I believe. But other than that, yeah, it's just like having a tree growing in your tank. But they grow huge too, so I'm curious as to how fast they grow, because I have a section of my building that I would love to have like tall mangrove trees, but as just like a practicality standpoint, like I don't know how easy it would be to keep that sort of thing alive.
Number 41.
Hung Fum. Why are some acan lords big separate polyps when they open up, and some of them clump together no matter the size? I am not sure if I understand the question fully.
42.
Still think about that acan question. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about the lighting as well. It's like it's so important to maintain very consistent lighting, and that can be more difficult with stuff like T5 because even though they might not degrade quite as fast as people originally thought, just that change in light, especially once you go from like a relatively dim T5 bulb that's been aged to a brand new one, you could kind of like fry your corals unexpectedly just because you've essentially boosted your output by 25 to 50%.
Number 44.
So Kevin, are all types of fox faces reef safe? No. So we have a magnificent, and generally speaking, it's fine. But I mean, with anything, you could get something that decides to start nibbling. I mean, we've had tangs start nibbling. To perhaps tangs even more to a greater extent than fox faces. But one thing that I noticed that even our regular like yellow fox faces with the black spot, what they tend to go after are newly introduced frags that we just glued down. So things like zoas, for example, once we get done cutting them and gluing them down to substrate onto those little plugs, we kind of have to find tanks without fox faces to first introduce them, because I think fox faces are just naturally curious like cats, and they're just gonna go, and even though they don't generally eat zoas, they're gonna sample this new fare, and so we run into issues like that. But once like if a zoa colony is just growing there, no, like that fish isn't gonna bother it. But it's just these new additions. Is this number 45?
This is 45. Sorry. Okay, that's not right.
Than,
46.
have you ever had your zoas shrink after transitioning them to higher light? Yeah, I think so, because like a lot of the times when you see when you see corals extending a lot of time they're extending to reach up to get more light. So if you're used to that appearance and then you provide more light, they shrink back down. So that's entirely possible that that's what you're seeing. So if you're going to quote unquote remedy that, you might not need to remedy that. It might actually be healthier in that state. But if you're looking for that kind of that extended look, it usually comes from just from lower lighting in general. So Michael Cantwell says that he has a powder brown tang that nibbles on acans. It happens. I have a yellow tang that I'm looking at right now, right in front of me, and we have these like pink xenia. It's not the pulsing variety, and he likes to nibble on their polyps, just all the time, and it's kind of annoying. But then again, it's just xenia, I guess. It doesn't kill it. It's just he just nibbles on them. E.T. Manning. I recently picked up my first Maxima clam. Have you kept clams before? And what are your experiences? Generally poor. The way that we do maintenance here does not serve clams very well at all. And so what typically happens is they do well for like a little while and then they just crash. I mean, we use like different dips and things like that occasionally. Less so now because we control pests a lot more with fish than active dipping. Dipping is like not exactly 100%. It's not exactly 50%. So having kind of having like active predation is better. So anyway, when we did do a lot more dipping, I think that just that residue would end up killing some of the clams. Also, just the way that we do maintenance, moving stuff around, they don't like. It was a tough ride. I think that for like a cellar, it's harder to keep clams because of how often things move around. When it's like one person in their home aquarium, like very little really changes, and that's much better for clams. Having said that, I've also seen clams in the wild, and those clams are indestructible. So like I look at my clams wrong, it's a problem. 51. So that madrasis is very cool. Having said that, I'm not really even sure that is a madrasis. That's just kind of what they go by online. If you do a Google Images search for madrasis, that's it looks different. So that makes me think that it might not be a madrasis. But if you search for a Candy Crusher madrasis, that's the thing that will show up. Yeah, I had to get rid of a hippotang that would rip up zoanthids. Not too surprising. Not too surprising. You can never really tell. I mean, there's some fish that are not supposed to bother corals and they bother corals. There's some fish that are supposed to destroy corals and don't. I know a store like fairly close by here. They've got queen angels with their corals, and it seems fine. Rico's reefing. 2 minutes. Okay, let's pause right there. I need to run and use the bathroom. I've been drinking too much. I will be right back. And the back. What is Madrasis? It's a genus of coral. So like I said, what we have as a Candy Crusher Madrasis might not really be a Madrasis. Madrasis aren't really that colorful or pretty looking. And the pictures I've seen of other Madrasis look completely different. This one almost looks like a Goniopora, like a short polyp Goniopora. But that's kind of the trade name as a Candy Crusher Madrasis, so there you go. I think someone at the beginning of the stream asked if Dan ever has to go. Well, you got your answer. Yep, pretty much. Sean, are you guys doing Reefapalooza New York this year? So we don't do any shows, like as far as like setting up and selling coral. Like there was a show 30 minutes from here today. It's actually still going on, like right now, and I'm doing this instead. So there you go. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Rico's reef tank just stopped by. Yeah, I didn't think that you were gonna make it. So he'll. Which number is this, Michael? Okay. So were you at Lear this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you went home or something.
No, I was at Lear, and then
So if you don't know who this guy is, it's Rico's Reef Tank. He's got another YouTube channel, and he does a lot of live streaming.
Too many.
Probably. It's
Literally,
not healthy.
It's not healthy at all.
Not healthy.
I like this setup.
It's better.
The light, yeah.
The light helps a lot.
Yes, it does.
Otherwise, it messes with my green screen and whatnot.
And the single mic.
Yeah, I usually do just a single mic, but I was thinking for like two people, it's better to have individual mics, because I think that the last time I did it, the person was a little bit too far away, so he had a completely different volume than I did. And
Gotcha.
But this is probably not too bad, and you speak loudly enough, so
Well,
we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, I think I speak pretty good, pretty loud.
So how's everything over there? Did you keep streaming the whole time?
Yeah, I was streaming for like 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only bad part about doing live streams when you're at any of these events, they always break up. Like it's it's like so terrible. It doesn't matter what you do, it's going to always break up.
So you missed the early part of this stream. We had all kinds of weird technical difficulties. Like
Well,
first off,
it's raining though. I always like anytime the weather's like this. I always
that's like a connection problem. We had that once so far, but no, the real big problem was not even like connection based. It was like first off, my audio kept on cutting out. Just cut out. Anytime we would change a slide or something, it's like audio's out, audio's out, audio's out. It happened like 3 or 4 times, right? And then, like, I was telling Michael, it's like, yeah, we should go on to the next coral. And he's like, on to number 3? And I'm like, no, number 2. And he's like, I'm on number 2. And I'm like looking at my video, I'm like, I'm not on number 2. Like, my video had stopped. Like,
wow.
yeah, so I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. So, yeah, long story short, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to have to restart this stream, restart everything, and...
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you restart?
I just hot restarted it. Just like closed down my broadcasting software. Like, I'll be back. Hopefully you guys will be back when I'm back.
Malev's Reef has been having a lot of problems with his too. Bad did you catch any of his live streams?
I've never seen his live stream.
Yeah, like his is really, I don't know what's going on, but probably because of all the programs. I have no idea, because he does something similar. I don't know what program he's running, but
He might be using OBS, which is like
I don't know how to
open
use it. I
broadcaster.
did download it, but I don't know how to use it.
OBS, I've seen it once. So Tech Gear Talk, he used OBS for like 5 minutes, right? And that was kind of nice. It was kind of okay. And maybe it's not quite as stable as you'd like. I'm not sure, because like he and I played around with it for a little bit.
60.
Thank you. And but like OBS is free, whereas like this is like hundreds of dollars, if not 1,000.
But you wouldn't have it no other way though. Not to be funny.
Well,
Everything you do is like Tesla money.
yeah, I guess. But if my Tesla's breaking down, it's not cool. You need to get working. You need to get working. It's like I'm paying for my stream to not be messed up.
Right.
Okay, so Daniel Smith is asking, the screen is black. So when we're moving the camera like a long distance or like swinging it around to another tank or something like that, we don't want you guys to see it, because that's a great way to make people turn the stream off. It is not a pleasant thing to look at. So we put the lens cap on, and then we do the move. Michigan fan, I'm looking for snake polyps. Do you have any? That's literally the first time anybody's ever asked for snake polyps. And there are snake polyps. How we doing? Audio is still good. Thank you.
Number 62.
Like, when you run into technical difficulties, you just kind of have to like shrug, like, why? There's no good reason for a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
They just kind of happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is the same thing I've been doing 100 times, but today it ain't happening.
It happened to me the other day, and I don't change anything, and I'm just running the Google Hangouts, and I go to start, and it had me muted, and I couldn't get the mute off. I literally had to shut down my whole computer, restart, because it just wouldn't work. So,
That's super frustrating.
yep,
Number 63.
no rhyme or reason, just happens.
So those two things that you brought were frags that you got from Lear. I'm surprised you actually bought something.
You're the second person that said that to me.
I was like, wow, you actually paid money. What'd you get?
I gotta save it.
You're gonna save it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a special.
It's special. I actually got two things for anybody that's wonder. I seen in the chat somebody asked. Two things, so maybe later on I'll do a live stream and do the reveal.
Okay, there you go. Something to look forward to. What speed is that lens? It's amazing. Yeah, it's a 100, like just you saw it in chat already, but it's a 100mm L, Canon macro L.
Number 65.
I need one for cell phones.
Oh, like I think they make them. I think they make them.
They say they make them micro lens, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do have to get them because I do like the way this pops up. Like really good detail.
I wish it looked like this on the actual live stream, because
It does.
66.
Yeah.
I can't broadcast it in all its glory because of my lame internet connection.
Well, like a lot of this stuff shows up on Instagram, like very nice versus like YouTube sucks as far as there. But Instagram live,
Is it good?
everything is
gonna-
popping, the
Oh,
clarity
but I
and
have
everything.
but I have to use a phone for Instagram. Huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I don't love that.
People love looking at my tank on Instagram versus YouTube. YouTube doesn't know.
YouTube grinds it up.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily blame them, because I guess like just the hosting fees and all that stuff, and the data transfer fees that that Google has to pay for YouTube, it's $6 billion a year. So they're like, we need to like crunch these videos down as hard as we can.
Wow.
By the way, this is my favorite Leptoceras. This is like the 24K, which is kind of funny because we have a golden Leptoceras, which is like more orange. But this one's called the 24K Leptoceras, and it's bright yellow. $68. Finally, these guys are looking nice. Took a while.
Why was it wrong with meteor shower?
Oh no, Cephastria in general, like especially in the summertime months, they really struggle. So it's only in the winter that they're quite this nice. It's very seasonal. They don't like I don't think they like the heat. They don't like the long days. They don't like the color temperature of the sun. They don't like a lot of stuff about the summertime.
Number 69.
So, when you were shipping coral in the wintertime, what was the story there? Because I missed that part when you were talking about it on your stream.
Well, first off, FedEx just decided to blame the weather. So, like, they held it at the airport for, like, they let it go, but it was way, way late, should I say. And they just, I don't know, like, they just held it at a facility and didn't release it, until the second day.
Like locally or over there?
No. Well, like I had one that's going to Indiana or California. So
It still got stuck in Indy?
no, it went to Indy, got stuck at Indy. Now that box got stuck at Indy, but then there was people that was going into
Number 71.
Alabama, got stuck at their Memphis hub. Now, the one that's going to California still goes to the Memphis hub too, but they left it at Indiana. Somebody else that was going to Alabama, 2 people, one got it, but it was just whatever. And Chicago went to New Jersey, and then the one and stayed. And then one went to, that was going to Maryland area, stayed here, and then shipped out the next day to go to New Jersey, and then from New Jersey over. So, I don't know. It was just totally FedEx.
Yeah. By the way, for the people that don't know, when you ship FedEx and you're shipping live, first of all, nothing that's live is ever covered by guarantees.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
Period. End of story. Another thing is that the cost of shipping, which is not exactly cheap. I know I changed it.
Hi, Mama.
So the cost of shipping, people complain like I charge $39.99. If you actually saw my actual bills, you'd freak out.
Yeah, and if it's off a little bit on the weight, don't think it's not set at $39.99.
There's nothing $39.99 about getting these corals to you.
Not at all.
Like nothing about that. Like the boxes alone are probably $10 once you get all the fixins, and then like, and I get a sweet discount. I think my discount rate is like probably 50-ish%. It's in that ballpark, and by the way, to get that rate, you've got to spend many tens of thousands a year.
Yeah.
And there have been packages that I've sent out with my discount that were 3 figures, and we're shipping them for free because they're larger and they get free shipping. So my $250 and you get free shipping is a really good deal. That's a really good deal.
Right. Yeah, minus all that it costs on top of the free shipping.
Yeah.
So
my point, going back to the whole FedEx problem, is that when they can identify a problem with that shipping, like the weather, if that plane had some ice, if there was some fog, anything that they can say, we had a problem.
But well, it's not
None of
just
that.
hair though. It also, like, if that package has to make a stop somewhere, that weather plays a part too.
Right. At
So-
any point, if there's a problem,
right?
you're not going to get back your shipping cost
no,
either.
no.
So the corals are dead, and the shipping cost.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I've been delinquent in my chat reading because, yeah. Alright. Yeah, shipping fees prevent me from purchasing online. Yeah. Shipping fees are no joke. They are no joke. Rossi's Reef Tank. Hey, Rossi. Hey, Than, what do you think of the ESV Bionic? Have you ever tried it? Yes. It contains traces in addition to the alkalinity and calcium. Yes. You know what's really funny? I'm just going to be so name dropping. But the president of that company is a fan of Tidal Gardens. And I don't know if I've met him in person or not. But we've chatted a little bit on and off. See, the reason why I'm not like purchasing ESV 2-part is just because we don't dose 2-part. Like I was this close to buying like an entire dosing setup to do some 2-part dosing of probably ESV, maybe BRS. I don't know.
ESV better.
Well, I know that like ESV has like a great history. Right?
Yes,
It's like
yes.
a spectacular, great history. But I haven't, and I was all about to. But then we finally, went ahead and did some testing, and all of our like calcium, alkalinity, magnesium were like perfect in every system, perfect. I'm like, we wouldn't get any benefit from then dosing more.
No, but you're running a calcium reactor.
Well, we were getting some weird stuff going on where we thought that there might have been like an alkalinity issue, but we didn't.
Well, depending on when things are firing off, like when my tank really does it, it's like the calcium reactor don't even want to keep up. During that time, that's when I use 2-part to help
Bolster.
just to help while they're doing their thing.
I was thinking
So
about
I
doing
keep it
something
on hand.
similar.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing something similar.
Number 78.
I was talking to another guy, Nathan. So when you were over by Triton Marine's thing on your live stream, he was like right behind you.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. So anyway, he doesn't do calcium reactors. He does the 2-part thing, and he doses 200 mLs a day.
Oh, I believe
That's
it.
like half a cup.
Because he's got a pretty big system himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know for me, it's like 500 or so with
day.
all the corals. When I have to play catch up, yeah.
Like so, 500.
Just to move it 1 DKH. Let's just put it like that. To sum it up, for me to move it 1 DKH, yes.
Huh. Yeah, that's like half of this container.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like 500.
Yeah. So even like most bottles that you get for like elements are, you know,
355.
this
right
is
there.
355.
Number 80.
But most of your like, I don't know, Brightwell, whatever name dropping, is like 500 milliliter bottles. So for like that, my tank, even for you, if you wanted to actually like dose something and move a parameter, it would take at least the whole bottle. Just dump the whole bottle.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Number 81.
Hey, Than, would you consider having the boxes returned to you? No, there's no point. Because here's the thing about returns. So that's a good question. For it to process as a return, it has to arrive at the new location, presumably dead, and then it would have to make that return trip back to you.
There's no sense.
There's no point.
Number 82.
Oh, to reuse them?
It's like that'll cost more than the cost of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shipping is like outlandishly expensive. It's so crazy.
So,
Than, are you excited about the Cleveland Cavaliers' new look team? Hell yeah, I am. I can't stop talking about it.
I haven't followed anything.
You're not a
so I'm
sports ball
lost.
guy?
No, I'm
I'm all in.
UFC for me. MMA, UFC,
Oh, I'm so excited about the Cavs.
strongman competition, stuff like that. No. So what am I missing? What happened with the Cavs?
They traded half their team. Like they said, you're gone.
Are you serious?
They traded half their dudes, and because like the team was like infighting something fierce, and so here's what's funny. Okay,
Wow.
I've got another friend who's not into sports ball at all, but both like his family is very well connected in this area, and so they get invited to like the Halloween party every year and stuff like that. So he doesn't know who any of these players are or anything like that. And he's at this Halloween party doing his thing. And I was talking to him about like explaining that, before this trade, there was a lot of this beef going on within the team and people were calling each other out and all this stuff. And he said, when I was at this Halloween party, there was like a really weird negative vibe. You could tell that like these people didn't like each other or something. Like somebody who doesn't know anything about this situation. He's like, yeah, there was like a really weird vibe in the room. It's like this Halloween party costs like $100,000 to throw, and no one's having a good time.
That's crazy.
That's really funny. But things have gotten better.
So what is this miraculous beef about?
Of what? The Cavs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like you get different guys in different stages of their career. Sometimes they're at the end of their contract, so they're really playing for their next contract, and so they kind of need to get theirs. Otherwise, like,
Gotcha.
Every single time that they're not playing enough, they're not getting enough shots up or something, that's hurting their bottom line. That's going to cost them $10 million a year if this goes poorly. And so sometimes like these guys are not playing within a team concept, and other guys who also have their own agendas are like, hey, you're messing with my money now, and we're losing. And all this time they're losing. And LeBron was checked out, and he wasn't playing very hard.
What?
Oh yeah, he was practically sabotaging the team.
Wow.
Oops. This guy's number 88. Is 87?
Oh,
Okay,
87,
gotcha. Thanks. Yeah, Thomas had to go. Yeah, and then this guy Isaiah Thomas was talking to everybody in the media, anybody that was willing to listen about the problems in the team.
Oh, he was just dropping it like that.
And the thing is, he was hurt the whole year. Starts to play for like 5 games, and then he calls a team meeting to call other dudes out, and it's like, dude, you just got here, and you're also like, he's probably how tall are you?
I'm only 5'8.5".
He's your height. It's like, sit your little ass down. What are you talking about? You just got here, and you're 5'9".
Right. Well,
It's like Michael Cantwell. Sorry, but LeBron has gotten way too full of himself since the Cavs won.
His pockets are just. I don't.
He runs his damn town.
Yeah, let's just play. He's actually only 10 minutes.
I live seriously like with
20 minutes from me, about 10 minutes from him.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, he's right down the street. He runs this damn town.
Yeah,
he is God Emperor of Akron.
So yeah, he pretty much does what he wants to do. When he wants to do
it, it's not even about ego. It's like
no.
he could send the chief of police over here to put a bullet in my head on my live stream, and no one's gonna say anything.
Probably not one word.
Yeah. All right, Tech Gear Talk's heading out. I'll see you later. We'll be in touch, I'm sure, to also talk more Cavs.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know anything about white slime? Deodorizing the air might cause it? Like, is there a white slime algae? Like, is white cyano? I've never heard of it.
A white slime, like a slime coat, like a clear slime that comes off of corals, or the bacteria slime.
But specifically that deodorizers might cause.
I don't mean either.
No.
You got 3 no's here to judge it.
That's a no. That's a weird one.
Number 90.
Yeah, it could. There's some weird bacterial problems that could happen, and also like if I don't know if you're doing carbon dosing of any kind, but anytime you get into like carbon dosing where you're kind of promoting algae to
Algae.
grow. You can get weird stuff growing out of nowhere that would never otherwise grow.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you don't like LeBron, it's completely understandable. Like, the guy's operating on a completely different level to the point where, like, the folks that I know that are around him in public, or even like at the Halloween party or something, he will look at you like how well, you're not gonna understand my weird reference, but he basically looks right through you if he does not have business with you. Because it's like you just can't. I mean, I kind of understand if you're a multi-billionaire mega athlete. I can understand where like you just can't give everybody the time of day. I mean, that's just not possible.
I think that's probably the number one thing is that.
So if when people,
everybody, you kind of got to stand kind of as if they don't exist because everybody's got an agenda. It seems like when they come to talk to you.
I mean, but who doesn't want to talk to? So like let's say you're a Cavs fan. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to go up and say, hey, Bron, can I get a picture with you? Like, that's like every freaking buddy on earth that has any inclination to do so.
But do you see him acting that way in front of the camera when it comes to that? Or is that just like at the Halloween party or stuff like that?
I think he acts that way to the wrong cameras even. Like, if you're not ESPN, if you're some like podunk sports blog, no, you're not going to get LeBron's attention. Like, there's going to be some media person, like it's a media manager that's just going to be like... He's gonna call you a bum like he called the president. You bum.
Wow.
Yeah. Get a UV for white slime. Yeah, white slime with no pox. Yeah, again, it's that.
Yeah, if you're promoting a certain type of, well, it's like
if you're
cancer,
carbon dosing.
I feel like cancer. Like everybody has cancer-causing cells. It just takes that one thing to trigger it. Something you dose to your body, whatever.
Start feeding it.
Then start feeding it. Yeah, because I mean, there's all kinds of algae.
See, but you can treat them humans. Like I guess you could, but. I mean, at some point, it's like maybe like I can just so imagine like if you got to that level of celebrity where it's like the people is just like this noise layer of just like attention grabbing. Like it's just it was cool when I was 16. I'm like 33 now or something. It's like I'm over this. It's just
I like how you did that. 33. Yeah, right.
No, he's 33.
Yeah, I thought you was talking about you. I was like, what?
I never got attention. So. I have no idea what it's like to be Bron.
Yeah. Well, you got to consider too where he came from, and honestly, is that's hard. I think that would be hard on anybody that goes from like a rags to riches type thing.
Yeah, to literally like a billionaire, most recognizable person on earth sort of thing.
Yeah.
By the way, like we can at least I can criticize LeBron all I want. I know that if it was me in his situation, I don't know if I would be alive. if you give me that much attention, that much political power,
I don't know what
that much money.
Yeah, it would be hard to.
I'm just gonna call up Warren Buffett right now, like, what?
Maybe that's why we're not LeBron.
Yeah. It could go very, 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 very poorly.
Oh, it probably definitely would for me.
And, like, and West people are, don't worry, 33 is young. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's
right.
like, I ain't 33. Okay. Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Saltwater Tank? He used to post all the time, and now it's like once a month if we're lucky.
Well, he does his Friday or tips, right? I think he still does his Friday tips, but I think he's got.
Ben.
Number 98.
What is it?
No, he's talking about a different dude.
Mr. Saltwater.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mrs. Saltwater. Oh,
No, that's somebody different. So yeah, other people thought so too. It's like, no, they broke up. It's like, no. There's a Mr. Saltwater Tank. What's his name?
Mark Callahan.
Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So other people are confusing like the former couple that was in the UK.
Oh, that's Saltwater Tank.
Yeah.
So is that what they're talking about, or are they talking about?
I think he was talking about Mr. Unless he just forgot the S.
Number 99.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Saltwater Tanks basically kind of still does his YouTube stuff, but he kind of makes some business moves. So, you know, to keep money, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, Miss Saltwater Tank, she's pretty much doing her own thing, Dancing with the Stars or something like that.
Yeah. She's on a reality
Yeah,
show.
a reality show.
Is LeBron staying in Cleveland or going to Golden State, Houston, or San Antonio?
If anything, I could probably, and I don't watch it, but I can just assume he's going to stay. I mean, I don't see him going anywhere else.
I'll be so
be
real.
shocked.
I don't care if he stays or goes.
I'll be
I don't
shocked,
care.
honestly. Everything's here. Everybody he knows is here. His family, friends. Yes, he's got money to pick him up and move but he's not going anywhere.
And if he does, it's all right.
I mean,
he got a championship.
How many more years is he? Honest, he doesn't even need to play. Let's just face the fact.
Oh no.
Okay.
He definitely does not need to play.
He doesn't need to
basketball.
play. He doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah.
So what would be his unless I don't see what his purpose would be at the end of the day.
I think he wants to.
honestly.
He's trying to capture more championships and stuff.
Okay,
and at that
but
point, go to Golden State. Like,
But he could do that
all of
here. He just probably had some kind of influence on why they just fired or got rid of or traded half the team. Trust me, that was probably his doing too.
I'm sure it had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Saltwater Tank is doing tank builds. Yeah, I think that was his business even before the whole YouTube thing. That's what people ask if I do that, if I would be willing to do that,
What?
tank builds, and it's like I don't even do my own water changes.
That's nice.
That's out of focus, by the way.
Yeah, so you can take that off. I'll take that.
We might have another for you. That's a nice one.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a green, so it's a green skin
Green
with
skin,
red-
pink and red.
pink and red polyps.
Yep.
Love it.
Number 103.
He's chasing Jordan. Already has 2 houses in LA, so he's gonna move out there eventually. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I mean, I think most billionaires might have a house in LA.
Oh well, yeah, but permanent residence. You know what? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
If I had that much money, I'd be very homeless. I'm like, what's your home address? I don't know.
I don't know exactly
Because
because I would never be in the one spot for too long. Period.
yeah, it's like forward all my mail to like the Ritz Carlton.
No, just have a PO box at whatever, and
Better yet-
have somebody go.
But
get
you
your
don't
mail.
need to get in contact with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Call my agent.
There it is. Yeah.
Call my agent. My bet is Houston or the Spurs. Houston may be interesting. Yeah, he's got a movie production company and a TV production company.
Rozzy says, "Call it Jason Fox watermelon."
You can sell it for 600.
Yeah, actually, it was funny because I was trying to decide on buying.
He's like in
something.
town. He's like
He's there.
just up the road.
Yeah. We were looking at the home wrecker,
Okay.
and everybody's like, "Yeah, get it." So I was like, well, "How much?"
104.
And it was like, or he had two, $800 and $1,000.
Get out of here with that. Y'all are silly.
I told everybody to think. I said, "Well, who's putting in on it?" If you always get, who is putting in on it?
That's silly.
105.
Well, I say that's silly, but like back when I was calling bounce mushroom silly,
You don't call,
that paid for like Nathan's whole everything. Probably his house remodel. I don't know. He sold so many of those things
yeah.
at 500 a pop or something. It was a lot.
She's not doing saltwater stuff anymore. Nope.
Yeah, who knows? That was a weird situation.
106.
You know, it's like, here's another thing, okay? If you want to do the YouTube thing, and you also want to do the couples thing, one of those two things might go south.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of insecure people in this world.
Yeah, but I don't even know if it's about insecurity. Like I was talking about just like the stress of having to do a YouTube channel, like the amount of work that goes into this, where you're also the character, and then I could see how that would just like stress a relationship. And
I give him credit. I don't know how. I mean, she's done it for a while. She was the face of the saltwater tank.
I wasn't necessarily talking about them. I was talking about just like there's a long list of like families that YouTube broke up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's one of those things where you kind of have to go in this and plan the heck out of it. Because I've got some friends that are thinking about like having YouTube channels around their kids, and I'm like, you need to plan the heck out of this whole thing. Because
they might want to really reconsider,
but at the same time, it's really powerful.
But if it works,
it really works.
So just be prepared though for whatever.
Okay, real quick. Noah is asking my experience with NPS Gorgonians. They're tough. They're tough.
I think if you
have to feed a slurry fairly frequently, a couple times, 3 times a day. But real quick, what's your opinion on bubble scrubbing or Tourist NX7? So you can handle this because I don't do it, but he does.
Actually, at first, when I first heard about it, was way back whenever, and I'm like, yeah, get out of here. But actually, I started about a year ago, and things that never would open up, besides at nighttime or real big feeding responses. The corals actually look like they got a what do you want to call it, exfoliated look that really looked at really more vibrant, and the feeder tentacles really comes out during that. I wouldn't say it's an irritated, it's more of like things I feel like getting caught up that you can't see with your eyes, like particulate matter, food, small things or whatever. That they actually eat, and it causes a feeding response, but it also gets away some of their slime coat, like it takes slime coat off of them. I'm just going to say I've done it for a year. I've seen no negative effects from it, and the corals look good. The water quality after doing it actually is like you just ran a bunch of carbon in your system. So the water clarity is actually really clear. CJ, when he was up here, they were talking about how clear my water is. I don't run carbon or any of that. So does it affect corals or get air trapped? They said it causes corrosion and this. I'm going to say that's not true, because I have not seen any negative effects from that. I actually like it, and I'm going to continue to use it. And actually talking to Mike Paletta was just there too. But prior to that, me and him talking, he really believes in it too now. So I don't know. It's all I can do is talk from experience. I think it's whatever.
One worry that I would have is that it might be a specific to SPS thing, because I've had large polyp stonies swallow bubbles.
So who said that? Was that you that said that to me before?
I've had a large polyp stony swallow a bubble, and the bubble will start to like pull up on a section of flesh and eventually just rip right through the flesh.
Yeah, see.
So,
and I have some LPS and stuff like that in there, but
maybe it's just not getting down that far, that sort of thing. It would happen to like meat corals especially. I couldn't. But these bubbles are so fine. You know what I mean? You do have to have the right consistency. I don't know. I'll be honest. Like I think it. I will continue until something proves me wrong. But honestly, I'd like to give it a try at some point.
Let's put it like this: my overflow box had so much built up of like it picked up this stuff out of my tank, took it to the surface. Went out. I mean, it looked like my overflow box looked like a protein skimmer head. It had that much nasty brown slime, bubbles, gunk, all that. So,
huh?
Try it. Just try it one time. just trust me, try it, and then you guys tell me, and then we can save this for a good maybe discussion after you guys been
down the
doing
road.
down the road.
Because
Yeah.
well, definitely like water clarity is something that I'm interested in.
I mean, it picks up algae, like it breaks up like slime algae, like all them bubbles just attach to it and just lifts it right up. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's pause it on that one right there. Okay. So we'll quickly go over the rules for the folks that have never done this before, and hopefully my audio doesn't cut out every single time I do this. But the way that the live show works is you can watch it on YouTube, but to actually purchase corals, you have to go to tidalgardens.com, and in the top left of the navigation, you'll see a blinking red dot, and that is the link to the live sale page. So once you get on that page, you'll see a numbered list of corals. And in order to purchase and completely get the coral, you have to do more than just put it into your shopping cart. You have to fully check out with it. So if you check out multiple times, just make sure to select local pickup, so you're not, or local pickup / live sale, so you're not getting charged multiple instances of shipping. If you happen to pay shipping more than once, don't worry about it. We'll give you a refund. And the shipping is $39.99, and it's free for orders over $250, which, if you were here for when we were complaining about FedEx, it's a really good deal. So anyways, hopefully that helps you guys. And we're back at it.
Alex King, shout out. Give
Alex
me a super
King.
chat. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Alex. I really appreciate it. Any and all money will help so much for this new building. It's not even funny.
16.
It's like, I've been joking, but it's like, it turns out that building a new structure like that, it's kind of expensive. It kind of catches up to you a little bit.
It's gonna take a whole lot of super chat.
It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of super chat. I need to be live streaming like everything, like 24 hours a day. It's like I'm sleeping.
Even then, it would
Like
probably.
cats are on top of me trying to wake
I
me
don't know
up.
how long it would take, but yeah.
117.
It might take a little while. Seeing that I have no idea how much this is all gonna even cost. I have no idea. Like,
Well, when you know you're gonna go big like that, it's like I don't even want to know. Just do it.
it's like, oh, well, it turns out you need electricity, so I can't say no.
Right.
I need to get electrical. Speaking of, they started today on the electrical.
Did they? Nice. Where did you get that light that you
What light?
used to for the corals to kind of
Oh,
like
that's
118.
that's an Orphic.
Orphic?
Orphic sells that. It's kind of it's okay.
Is it okay? And what's your thoughts on it? Honest opinion?
of that little light.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all it is a little LED.
Right.
And it's got two different colors of blue in there. I mean, I don't know who else would sell anything even like it.
Right.
I usually explain what that is, but we're like 118 in. But
How many did
it's
you have up for those? How many corals did you
250 something.
get? Okay.
But so we're halfway through. When you see the coral change color like that,
Yeah.
we're shining a flashlight on it to show some different types of fluorescence. All of these corals are under T5 lighting, mainly blue plus, coral plus, that sort of thing. And these bulbs are a year old now, so still doing all right. On the live sale page, but no pics. That's correct. You're only going to see the numbers. That is part of how the prices are lower for the live show, is that we don't do pictures for every single one. So if you wanted, for example, the mummy eye chalice that you just saw, you would purchase item 118.
119.
So anybody running Orphic Atlantics? I've seen it in person once.
I have not. I've just started hearing about it, but I don't keep up with. I'm sure you probably don't really keep up much, do you?
Not a ton. Well, yes, and sort of, yeah, kind of. Well, it depends, because obviously I'm looking for something very different than a typical hobbyist is. But Nathan, he has that over his frag tank, and he's really, really, really happy with it. Its performance as far as growing corals and coloring up. My camera hates that light. Hates it.
Really?
Yeah, it is not good for videography. having said that, you got new lights since the last time. At some point, I'm gonna have to make a trip over and reshoot your tank, just because I'm curious to see how the Ecotech lights look under, or how the camera sees Ecotech lights, I should say.
Yeah, because there's 6 Ecotechs,
Okay.
2 Reef Brights, and 2 LEDs. 2 strips of LEDs. So
Fluorescence, you mean?
I mean
T5s.
T5s. Sorry.
I say T5 and LED interchangeably sometimes.
I don't.
Well, my brain just blocks it out.
Yep.
It's the same thing, right?
Somewhat. Not really.
Not really.
22.
Totally different on that, but
Hey, Than, if you had only a 2-bulb T5 fixture running a softy tank, which 2 bulbs would you choose to put in there? Blue Plus, Coral Plus? Ben would do a Blue Plus and an Aqua Blue Special. Also a good choice.
I think I would do Blue Plus, Coral Plus.
So Blue Plus Coral Plus is going to do the most for you fluorescence-wise. Blue Plus Aqua Blue Special will do a whole lot of work for you if your corals, and especially in a softy tank, don't have a lot of fluorescence to them. So their color is very matte to begin with. Stuff like Fiji, sarcophytans, and stuff like that. If you're not into the fluorescence as much, that Aqua Blue Special is going to look real nice. The Aqua Blue Special being like the most, I guess, daylight of the ATI bulbs. Are you still thinking about switching up, getting a larger tank? Is that still
Oh,
a
it's
possibility?
definitely a possibility. It's just when,
I have no idea when I'm going to get tanks, so I know the feeling there.
It's just when's going to be a good time, which is never, but...
And you're not going to put it in the same location as your current tank.
Well, the thing is, we don't want to do anything else at the house we're at.
Oh.
We want to get rid of this out and get our pretty much somewhat forever home.
Uh-huh.
So, and I need something with a nice walkout basement so we can at least drive a forklift down in there if we got to.
That's a tall ceiling.
Yeah, kind of. We kind of need something, or just something in there, to whatever.
It's, yeah.
Because I don't want that tank on, I want it to stay in the basement no matter what.
Uh-huh.
That just makes me too nervous being on the first floor. Something that huge.
No, yeah, no way.
No.
Unless it's literally like on top of a giant I-beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The weight of that tank.
Yeah, people ask me if am I going to put tanks in the upstairs of this building. I'm like, no chance. No chance.
There's plenty of room on the first floor, not upstairs.
It's like, and I don't want to do water changes. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do maintenance up there and spill all my water. No. What was I thinking? Yeah, that new building's insane. Well, we can take a look at it after the live show if it's still light out, or if you're still here.
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't got nowhere to go.
By the way, this Blastomusa here at $120. These polyps sell for $50 a piece wholesale. So this is not a Blastomusa Wellesley. It's a Merletti. You didn't type anything.
You didn't type, yeah.
You said ultra orange and yellow Blastomusa. No, this thing is absolutely incredible. It's got like all kinds of.
And how many
crazy...
heads has that already got?
Probably has like 5. Yeah, looks like 2 large polyps for sure, and a bunch of smaller ones. Yeah, that thing's awesome.
So
that's my favorite Blasto.
At even wholesale, yeah, whoever's getting that's a deal.
Yeah. I think that there might have been the first few that were sold retail were like closer to $300 a polyp. Yeah, that one's like legit amazing.
Reinforcer.
Rogues Town. Nobody talks about microbubble dosing. Huh? Didn't we just do that?
I thought we did.
Oh,
Bubble scrubbing.
Scrubbing.
Yeah.
My wife just said to rewind the live stream. I feel like an idiot. Aw. Will the fire pole go into your new building?
Who is that?
That's DC.
Oh, DC Reefer.
129.
These young guys.
He's neglecting for some more. Oh,
If I got a fire pole, I would break my hip.
I'm not going down it personally myself.
There's this guy that I was watching his YouTube channel, and there's like this thing in the back that kind of looks like a fire pole, but the funny thing is it's not. All it is a silver lamp, and the guy is enormous. He's like this power lifter guy. And he's like, do you think for 1 second I could be on that pole? It's like I weigh 300 pounds,
Yeah.
and it's like this big around. But it's all it is a silver lamp pole, but you can't see the top of the lamp.
That's a pretty good deal. I still sell them sometimes
Palo
myself for
Grandes.
$50 a polyp.
Yeah, they can get up there.
Yeah, I sell them for $50 a polyp, and you got it for 30. I got a bunch.
All the deals. It's tax time. Plenty of time to get a new one.
131.
Tax season is kind of stressful. I've done my federal taxes, so at least that's off my plate.
I still got to go do taxes. Not looking forward to it, really.
Do you have somebody do your taxes?
Yeah.
That's not so bad. I don't know if it's bad or not. I
No.
used to. It's
Yeah,
like, it was,
to me, I'd rather just let them do it.
for when I was doing it, it's like because it's like business and personal and blah 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 blah. It was like $600, and so I do it all myself now.
Oh, no, I don't. I think the most I've ever paid at any time, and we've been doing him for 10 years now, is I think $150, $130. Yeah. I'll pay that all day.
You know, I don't want tax time. And I see little Aptasia peeking out there. Yeah, it'll be gone. It'll be gone before we ship it. Yeah, because it's like soup. They're super tiny. They're tucked in between. But and you know, people are always like, you know, why don't you take care of that? All you need to do is put in a copper band. The problem is my homicidal fish are killing the copper bands I put in. So if people are wondering why don't you like tangs? That's why I don't like tangs.
Yeah, unless you put them in at the same time, it's kind of it very seldom ever works. You can keep throwing all you want in there. It's
Like
they
after a while,
established, you know,
Yeah.
period.
it's messed up. So yeah, of course, it's on paper it's very simple to get rid of pests. When you really break it down, it's like sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I feel so bad, you know, putting in like this really, really bright, healthy, happy-looking fish, and then the next morning it's either dead or like beaten to hell. And it's like these jerk tangs, these jerk damsels, it's always tussling.
I like starting the tank off with all the fish that I know I want that are there to serve a purpose. It's sad when they come up missing and you need that fish to do a certain job.
It's like, how do I
because
get this thing back in there?
It's really, that's the hard part.
Yeah, it stinks.
Yeah, I seen that.
Michigan fan, why won't my Bowser zoas grow? I've had them
Feed them.
for a year and they've only grown one head.
Feed them. Feed him a little bit of reefroids. He'll grow. Probably not enough nutrients or something in there.
Could be. Some zoas especially, they take a moment to like take
Settle
off.
it. Yeah.
And once they take off, they really take off. But before that point, also, it's always a good idea to check for pests because
That
if
too.
something is actively eating your zoas, they're not going to grow. And
But he
that
did say one polyp. He only has one, right? Did he say that?
It
For a whole
only
year?
have grown one head.
In a whole year. So if it was a pest, he wouldn't have grown anything.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
He would have lost that.
could. I don't know. Like, yeah, pests come in all shapes and sizes. It
Yeah.
could be real annoying.
This is 135.
Yes. What's the best light color for coloring up corals?
Time.
You think time? I don't. There's some junk lights out there.
There's corals that just might just be brown at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like T5s a lot. If you're trying to like bring out the best, like develop the best color in coral, I really like T5s. I'm really interested to see if like this latest generation of LEDs is any good, but there's a few people that have different lights that I'm keeping an eye on their corals.
well, I think I finally last week set him to a setting where I think, yeah, we'll see what happens.
137.
Also, this is a good exercise to do, is to actually go and see other people's aquariums. Because when you're around your own system for so long, things... you misspelled alveopora. Yeah. So, I fixed it. So, long story short, if you go and take a look at other people's tanks, some things might surprise you. So,
138.
for example, at my personal trainer's office, he has some radioactive dragonized zoas that he got from us. Pretty common coral, right? And he decided to glue it onto his overflow box, so horizontally. And he's had them for like almost like 2 years now. Never really paid much attention to it. But then this past time, I was at the gym, looked in there, and those polyps were 4 times larger than my zoas. They're 4 times as big. The stems were longer than these Goniopora. On radioactive dragon eyes.
What kind of light is he using? And is
He's
it
using
enough light?
He's using my crappy AI lights
139.
that I had sold to him for very cheap. But no, they're not in the dark. They're right at the top. They're at the overflow level.
And stems like that come.
Long stems, and the polyps the polyp heads are 4 times as big.
That's
And
why I
they
said
looked
we're
incredible.
not experienced. I mean, we have experience, but we're not pros, because that to me sounds crazy. Like,
And
I
the
have
thing
no
is, it's
explanation
not
for
even
that.
like he's using my lights
right.
with a coral I sold him. It's like, how? Why? But that also makes me think that like detritus settling on corals might be a lot to what's keeping them from growing well. And when you have like corals that are like this all the time on racks, and detritus is collecting,
right in, gets in there.
versus like vertically, where like there's no detritus accumulation.
Right.
I mean, there's like all these things that I'm thinking about now. It's like, should I be growing corals on their side on these racks and all kinds of just thinking a bunch of mental gymnastics there.
Take a frag plug of them and put them at an angle. Just leave them in there, but just at an angle so no detritus can.
And we actually have some racks that have side holes, side
So-
plug holes. So we can test it out. Also,
It'd be neat to see if it does the exact same thing. It's a process of elimination. Who knows?
yeah. Anyone using a max spec recurve? I don't know what that is.
Those are new. Those
You
were
like-
down there at Magna when we were down there in Louisiana. They had they look nice.
I was super antisocial when I was down there.
I
I didn't
you-
talk to anybody. No, meaning like I didn't talk to any of the
Vendors.
vendors. I just like looked at everything and I'm like, I'm gonna go get a cocktail now.
That's what you look like you was just ready. When I ran into you, met up with you, it looked like you was just like, okay, I'm here. Now let's go get a drink. So that's what I took from it. He was spiffed up, not to be at Magna, literally like to be somewhere getting a cocktail. Nice and G.
It said that many softies zoas mushrooms like a dirty tank. How dirty? I wouldn't be in a huge hurry to be searching out dirtiness for your
I
tank.
would, I would probably say if they're talking about dirty, I see people when people say dirty, like what's the limit to dirty? Are we talking like a couple parts per million phosphates and like no more than 10 in nitrates, or what?
To me, typically dirty means 50 nitrate. That's pretty dirty. And like piles of detritus everywhere is dirty.
45.
Yeah, see,
It's
I
different
got
things to
positive
different
detritus
people.
and still get no nitrates, and my phosphates are low.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of the corals consuming along
So-
with Chaeto and protein skimmer. Corals are
Myers
typically-
Reefs. I've got green pallies, and when I do the transfer to new tank, should I transfer them or burn them? Like, dude, if you like the coral, don't worry about what anybody else thinks about them. Like, if you like the coral,
Polys. We're talking about the big grandiose polys, or
he said just big green pallies.
I wonder why he's saying that. Is that because of the toxicity of those and crashing? They've heard that crash their tanks and stuff like that.
I can't imagine. I mean, do
'Cause
people really have that problem? even?
I've honestly cut them inside my main display and had no issue.
No.
At all.
No
Like,
one ever does.
Cut them in my tank.
Yeah.
And then you hear people say, "Oh, you do that, they wiped out their whole tank." I think you had other issues going on.
Probably. Now, like polytoxin is dangerous.
Oh, it's definitely.
But it's dangerous in like pockets. Like it's almost like a 230 volt electrical circuit, right? It's like it is perfectly safe until the one time it's not. That sort of thing, you know. It's so there's a very specific circumstances that would have to happen for you to kill yourself
Yeah.
with zoas and
Yeah.
pallies. If you do those
agree.
things, you could kill yourself with zoas or pallies. It's like an electrical line.
Yeah.
All right, bathroom
Totally.
break.
Yep.
Be back.
Oh,
Whoops. Hopefully that didn't kill my stream.
no, you're good. I'm taking a smoke break.
And I'm back. Are you seeing green screen?
Yeah, it seems like it's right where it says brief G, stay welcome.
Better?
Right where the two lines up in the chat box.
Yeah, I think it's there's a 30-second delay, so I think I fixed it. What? No, I think I bumped this thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
30
that's
seconds.
what happened.
So this is 149.
Okay, thanks. I need to sell a lot of these things.
Yes, he does. Trust me.
So one of my my importer suppliers came over, and I said, I need you to take 500 of these. He's like, there's no way that I can take 500. And it's like, if you can't take 500 of these, nobody can take 500 of these.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to I might do an even deeper fire sale at volume of these in the future. Just saying. And I'm sorry, Eco Marines. I would love to have sent these to you. And have a good night. Hope you're feeling better. She's a wholesaler in the UK. I would love to send Eco Marines all of my Leptoceras. But
Yeah.
we don't export.
But you guys, sure, you can work out a deal today on the live stream if you buy them in bulk.
If you buy 100,
There you go.
I will hook you up.
Billy Pipes, I know I see you in here. You're
What's
always
up,
going
Billy
to
Pipes?
frag swap.
Is Billy Pipes local?
He's in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Dirty
Not local.
Jersey. Yes, I'm probably going to stream later on this evening. Show you guys a couple goodies I got.
152.
They're floating in my tank currently.
Oh, speaking of your tank, this tank here, it runs on what?
What do you mean it runs on what?
A canister filter?
Low.
Huh?
No, it's plumbed in to the rest of it.
Oh, but it was running on a canister filter, right?
You know, we had a carbon canister.
No, we were running carbon.
Okay, because I always thought this was running on a canister filter. I'm like, it does quite good for a canister filter.
Nope. Nope.
What's up, Tim? How we doing?
By the way, this live show goes so much more quickly when I have a guest. It's so much nicer.
I couldn't do it without at least somebody. I mean, that's why I open up my live streams for people to come in to hang out in the chat. Because it's a lot better than, feels like you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, that can be like that. It'd be nice, like, once we actually get a real studio space. Can
I
have,
can't wait for
more
that.
people, more comfortable.
We're going to have a little wet bar, drinks.
Good.
155. Be like Mad Men with coral
Oh my God, right?
suits and stuff.
Yeah. Everybody has
Nice,
these
comfortable
1950s suits.
chairs and, oh yeah.
Is there going to be an Easter spring break sale at Tidal Gardens? Maybe. Ask Ben. He's the one that does like a lot of the pricing stuff. By a lot, I mean a whole lot. So you can pray to his altar
136.
for cheaper corals.
Real quick, I did tell everybody about July 28th.
Yes.
Did you
No.
tell your viewers?
No. No, because I'm putting the planning on you.
Oh my God.
So what are we eating? Where's the food coming from?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We gotta have to sit down and discuss that.
You want to do Paul?
Paul.
See, I don't know if Paul's gonna be available because so I have a former business partner who quit the hobby to become a professional barbecue competitor. So he travels every. I would laugh, except I think he's in the top 4 teams in the world or something.
Yeah, he made the right decision then.
Yeah, and he makes really good barbecue.
One Carolina alligator.
Or maybe Sean. Sean likes to do that stuff too. The personal trainer.
Yeah,
Sean.
Sean.
So maybe there could be some catering budget that we can work out to do something. We'll see. It's like, are you getting excited for your own barbecue, Than? It's like, yeah.
58. Steak house.
Must be a nightmare for picking the best of the best for live sales. Believe it or not, you hit it right on the head. It's awful. It's absolutely
Yeah.
terrible to pick corals for this live show.
Not pick doubles.
It takes 2 days to pick this junk out, and
And this is what they're trying to get me to do.
oh,
On my yeah.
it's so much. It's so hard.
Please tell them.
It's not okay. So it's not that it's just so hard. Okay, because everything about YouTube's kind of hard, right? But it's literally terrible feeling. Nobody wants to do this. So Luke, it doesn't seem like Luke is in chat, but Luke used to work here, and sometimes he would just say, because I would always make him do it. He's like, it sounds fun from a hobbyist perspective to walk through this whole place and pick out all the cool stuff. It ain't fun after you do it once.
Yeah, it's not.
So you'll do that once. It's like that's not the experience I thought it was gonna be. That sucked.
Yeah, I'm
That sucked.
there and to get up close shots like that, I don't think people understand how much you have involved to set this up to make this even pop. Well, you just said it, 2 days just to pick out coral.
Just to pick out the corals. Yeah. And the thing is, I would like to expand this from like 250 something to like closer to 500 corals and run this live show for something closer to like 6 to 8 hours.
I mean, I'll come and sit with you, but I'm not picking them out.
No, it's but even like just the logistics of setting all of these things out, it's difficult.
You're gonna have to find a good employee that's willing to.
So it's like, what time does Rico start his live stream?
Whenever I get home.
Whenever he gets home.
Yeah.
He's busy.
All right.
It's like, I appreciate all of your suffering. Well, it's like, technically, it's not my suffering. It's that guy over there.
Yeah. You
He's
guys
suffering.
don't see Ben. He's hiding over here.
Yeah. So like, so there's that component. Then there's the other part of it that's no fun is to actually make all these coral labels. So I get on his case about misspelling alveopora, but like to then like to have to scribble down all of these corals, all of these prices, and then you have to like upload all of this data into the website to make that work, and then finally we set up all this stuff for a live broadcast, and then you get technical difficulties right when you start. It's like, I'm glad you guys have we're planning and putting this all together for like 3 days, and here, have some audio issues.
You're right.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you don't get internet today because it was raining. So thanks.
How does the green squirrel corals grow for you? How fast?
Pretty good now.
Yeah, mine's grow pretty good. Yeah,
Pretty good now. Sometimes they're like,
It can
not
be a
so
hit and miss.
much.
Yeah.
164.
So Wes P's World, I don't know if you were around for like a lot of the earlier live shows for like especially around Halloween or something, but usually like the combination of costumes, drinking, and live guests are the best show. Like those are hard to beat. So I was talking to somebody because I had shown this person like my live shows, and she was like, "I saw your live show. Were you drinking the whole time for like 3 hours?" Because she's used to working with like professional adults, and it's like nobody would go to work and start drinking, but we totally do that. We totally do that here.
Yeah, we can. When it's your own, you can get away with it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing that ever happened on YouTube either. Rossi's, how are your cats doing? The cats are doing okay. Thanks for asking. They're fat. That could be better, but they're still there. Gia, do you have any cats or dogs? I forget.
Dog.
You have a dog.
Yeah, cats. Everybody's allergic. I want a cat because I think cats are cool.
Cats are awesome.
And they can take care of themselves when you go on vacation.
So that's really important because
That's what I love about them.
I feel like I'm neglecting my cats. And people are like, that's just simply not possible. But no, they definitely miss me when I'm away.
167.
Said that's awesome. I think he's talking about the reverse coral or
Oh, it might have been the reverse war coral.
war coral. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. How is it as far as a grower for you?
Very fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't for a while, but we were having probably alkalinity issues. It's funny because like we go we have all these data logs of like when we did tests and how low they used to be. Our alkalinity used to be so low across the board for like a year. Because
What do you mean low? Meaning like under 7?
Under 7.
Right.
Like 7 was the high point. We went as low as 3. and guys, if you haven't tried a calcium reactor, you are so missing out on like the easy lane. It's like it's the easy lane. Like, you could just stop worrying about your chemistry. It fixes everything, and all it is like 2 pumps and a carbon dioxide thingy. That's all it is.
I like how you explain that carbon dioxide thingy.
Regulator.
Regulator.
Tank, regulator, solenoid type controller type thing.
You're right.
But that's it. It's so remarkably simple.
And they do make them for smaller systems. And
But
I get
why?
a lot of
But why
people.
even bother? Like,
160.
All right.
because here's the thing, okay? A medium-sized calcium reactor is probably big enough to handle the biggest tank you'll ever own in your whole life.
Most people, yeah.
Yeah, because most like a small calcium reactor can handle a 200-gallon aquarium, and like pretty full too. So, I use Geo's Reef's calcium reactors right now.
Yep.
Okay, I use the 8-inch model. He makes a 12-inch model, and in the future I'm going to be using 12s. But these 8s are keeping up with 1,000 gallons right now. So,
And I was having a little problem with mine there for a while, but I think the 818 is fine.
yeah.
But when I go to the larger system, I'll probably have to hit that 12.
You could do 12. You could do 2 8s.
2 8s.
Yeah. You could do like all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Just run them in parallel.
Yep.
And
191.
the 171.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, we're missing time here.
171.
I know we were good, but that good? Let's see. Have a 60 gallon with a 30, so too small for a calcium reactor.
Dan, have you ever had any coral spawn in your tanks? If so, what kind? Yes, but usually I don't ever see it because they're done spawning by morning. Everything happens at night, and I'm not here at night. If I'm here at night, something's terribly gone wrong. Like, I shouldn't be here when it's dark.
172.
Oh, by the way, how's the blue cloves working out?
They're doing all right.
They're fine. I haven't seen them spawn. They're spreading a little bit. They're not going crazy yet.
Not going crazy yet. That's true.
I have them in like 3 different spots. I'm kind of trying to figure out what they like.
Maybe they just need more substrate.
I
to grow
don't
onto.
mine don't spawn unless I do a couple good days of heavy feeding. Then you see the egg sacs.
So what's up, Luke? I see you. So yeah, definitely stop up in a few weeks. And I was just telling a story about you, Luke, about how like somebody was saying, about picking out these corals, and I was telling people like it's a terrible experience to pick out these corals. And I used to make Luke pick out all these corals, and it's like it's cool the first time you do it. And probably halfway through that process, like I'm kind of done with this.
Let us know how you really feel, Luke.
Yeah, but Luke, you have to come up and see the building. Come hang
He
out.
hasn't came up and seen it yet?
He's seen it once, but it wasn't nearly this done. Where's Tidal Gardens based out of? We are in Ohio.
174.
Poor Luke. Yeah. Luke's got a rough life. Awkward Fish. How's the T5s doing? They're doing great. I told this story earlier, but we have almost 20 units here. And the only 2 units we've ever had a problem with, like one of the bulbs, like they probably had a bad connection, it wouldn't fire. Wiggled it a little bit, it fires, and it wiggles it right back out, and it stops. I mean, and since it's purchased on Amazon, you can return it if you want. I just didn't care.
Well, they're so cheap. I mean,
They're so cheap.
Yeah.
And they're so cheap that I didn't want to take the hassle of taking the lights all out, packaging
Yeah.
this thing, putting it in my car, driving it to UPS.
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
no, just send me another
It's like,
one.
you know what? No, it's not even that. It's like,
Or
so
what?
what? It doesn't have a light bulb.
Right. Or that too.
So it's like, you know what? It's a 5
And you
bulb
could
unit
probably
now.
just take it apart and it's probably just a loose connection inside or something.
Like a little solder
Yeah.
shipped out. Like,
Exactly.
I don't care. So the other, I don't know, like calcium reactors. There's like all these different units out there. Like,
The only 2 that I will ever probably own, well, I'll take it back 3, is that what we talked about, the Destaco. I'm
okay.
still really kind of wondering about that. And I've been hearing good things from Mike and Sanjay about it, that they like it. But it's GEO and MRC.
Okay.
Those 2 are, to me, hands down, best on the market. Not trying to name drop or promote, but I'm just...
It's just everybody else get your game up. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple device.
Yes.
And again, it pays for itself like that.
That's the thing I hear a lot. That it's a big upfront cost. But I'm thinking like, you just went and spent $300-400 in corals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you can spend $300-400 and got something that's going to make your life easier and keep those corals that you want to buy thriving.
Yeah.
So you can sell those to make your money back, frag them, and whatever the case may be.
Or just prevent them from dying.
Or prevent them from dying.
Yeah, like even simpler than that. You don't have to sell anything. Just have it not die. That's nice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How's it going, everyone? Hey, Than, currently running T5s, having slow growth. Think about getting LEDs, maybe Kessels. What do you think? No hate on Kessel, okay? It ain't your lights. It's not your problem. It's something else. It's probably something chemical. I
would say alkalinities maybe fluctuating a little too much.
Yeah, it's something else. Because if you're not getting good growth under T5s, changing lights is not gonna help.
No. Because T5s are tried and true. Metalhead lights, tried and true. It's usually, like you said, a chemical, something, parameter issue.
Yeah.
Something in that tank.
Having said that, not everything is growing super fast or super well here. But again, I don't look at lighting as the number one concern for that.
But you really don't count because you have a greenhouse versus somebody like the normal hobbyist where it's inside, so they're more consistent than what you are.
Yeah. Well,
for the most part.
I guess my point was there's something else going on. It's either there's like a chemistry issue or there's just something eating it. Like we were talking earlier about, like, you know what? Sometimes my fish just like to eat coral sometimes. That'll just happen. In addition, foxface and tangs.
Oh, the tangs.
If you watch the fish in this tank, wrasses and my tangs will eat that xenia.
The xenia?
Yep. Like, why?
Why exactly?
Yeah, just especially that yellow tang. You just watch him; he's gonna like swim over, just like blam.
Takes a nice little chunk.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're so fat too. No.
What do you guys think about T8s? People used to use T8s.
They used to use them. Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be the gold standard for. Yeah, they're called VHOs.
They don't make
T8
those at all.
VHOs.
I don't think, right? No. I mean, I'm sure
it's kind of not
aquatic technology. I'm sure he has a whole bunch out there.
I think you can still get them. It's just not really.
Yeah.
But I don't know, John Roberson. Are you in the U.S.? Because T8s aren't really very. They're not seen that often. Increasing flow helps with growth. I would. It's a broad brush, but generally speaking, I would agree with that. Better flow is
will help promote. But considering that all your parameters are in check and not swinging wildly, I would say, and you do have nutrients in your system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of things can be somewhat narrowed down. It's not really that hard outside of a pest that you just don't see.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's like
And a lot of people have red bugs and don't even know that they have red bugs, and they don't even on a larger colony. It's not going to hurt as much. On something small, it's going to keep it or pretty much kill it,
prevent it from
growing. So if you have good parameters, good nutrients, good lighting, I would get my face up to that glass or pull a coral that you think and really inspect it for anything moving. It's a little dot, a speck. Red. It looks red, but it's a speck. And you're going to have to wait for it to, do this little jig around your coral. But those are notorious. I think a lot of people don't even realize that
I'm sure they do, because one of our customers sold us like a very, very big colony of acro once. And I said, I just want to let you know that your stuff is teeming with red bugs. And he had no idea.
Yeah, they don't.
But it was still a giant colony he's able to grow. And I showed it to him, like, so one of my cameras here, you can just do like 10x like magnification, and so I just pulled the camera up. I showed it under a macro lens, and he's like, "That's unbelievable." He had no idea, because part of it is like he was older, and you know, when you're older, you lose like, you know, the near vision anyway, but it's so he would have a hard time seeing it to begin with. But once you see it for the first time, you'll never unsee it.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Your eyes will dial right into seeing it. Seriously.
What can I dose for red bugs?
Interceptor.
Nothing. Oh, interceptor.
Yeah, you
can do interceptor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interceptor, but you got to prove to, because it is a prescription, and you got to show and prove to your vet. 9 times out of 10, you might have to go to a couple vets. Because it's their license and it is a prescription that they have to set it up for you. My vet provides me it, set it up an account for me, because whether I have it or not, I dose twice a year in it, because
it's insurance for all your big colonies.
Well, because even though I've done it, you know, and I've dipped, I still had red bugs attached to corals that did not die from a dip. For whatever reason.
I don't think dipping does anything for red bugs.
Yeah, they come off. It's like stuns them.
For which dip though?
The Revive.
Or Revive?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking Coral RX. I
only use Revive. Even though that stuff is pretty harsh, and some of the corals that I've dipped, like a lot of the smooth skin, the tissue just comes right off.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've had that happen. So...
Like, we don't
Hawkins
use Revive
Echinatas, Red Dragon, any of those, or smooth skin, deep water, I just don't dip. So therefore, because I don't dip, I inspect as
This
good
is
as
188, you said?
Yes.
188. One.
I done messed up. What on earth am I doing? 188.
Did you forget to put it in?
What is this? This is a pink and gold. And it's how much? 1.5. Boom.
Good price.
Okay, so this is 180 is $15, guys. All right. I done messed up. Sorry, guys. 189.
There we go.
There we go. And now we're back on track.
What is the chat saying? I know we were talking about red bugs, but probably best bet is manual removing. What are we talking about? Dip corals that comes to the warehouse.
Aaron Barlow, does Tidal Gardens dip coral that comes into the warehouse before storage? Yes. And you'd be amazed at what survives.
That's what I was going to say. Now, even though you do a pretty good dip, right? We can say, what has still made it past those dips?
Everything. No, it's so
everything. Exactly.
Anything that was an egg, like it's a good precaution. I would. Here's the thing about dips and things like that. Okay. To say it's futile, it's a little bit harsh, because all it has to do is to prevent one outbreak. If it prevents one outbreak, it's worth it. But really, like, we've gone to a more active predator type of pest control. You lost audio again? Hello? I'm still here. My audio is still picking up. As far as I can tell. I'm getting audio meters.
Yeah.
So chat, can you guys still hear me? Will 6 lines eat red bugs? Probably not. The things that eats red bugs, dragonface
pipefish.
Dragonface pipefish. Yep. However, don't do what Uncle Fan did and put them into a tank with power heads that are too big. Otherwise, you'll blend them. So yeah, I don't have any pipefish anymore.
You did? TMG said, Interceptor kill all your inverts. Interceptor will kill crustaceans. Inverts, you know, if it doesn't kill them, they're going to be punch drunk, but they're not going to be able to withstand the second dose to that tank. So, just so you know. So if there's blood shrimps and stuff that you have as a pet, you need to remove them from that system when you decide to go ahead and hit your tank with interceptor. And you might want to get yourself some trigger pods and some more cocoa pods. Not all of them's it's gonna put a dent in them. It's not gonna wipe out your whole tank from them. But if you got mandarins and stuff like that, you probably want to introduce some trigger pods and some kind of form of pods after that dip.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And just bringing, well, for us, it's just bringing in new corals and stuff like that. That'll introduce more as well over time. So thanks, chat. Because Ben here lost audio. Can you just like refresh the page? Oh. We had some clove polyps earlier that weren't quite as open as ours here. So these guys are cooperating much better.
Hello, everybody. Meldium.
195.
I need to work on getting people here to do these live shows with us more. But the thing is, like, we didn't like work this out in advance. Like, it was fun. It was just like, hey, it's I'm just gonna check out his live stream before the show, and I just started trolling you for a little bit, and then you're like, maybe I can stop over. I'm like, that'd be nice.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta come back this way, and I wasn't planning to stay to the end. Anyway, so.
Oh, you're close. You were close.
Yep.
Dan, you can convert your old greenhouse into a freshwater farm, rare species fish, and legal Asian arowanas. So Ben would love to do that. I haven't had a freshwater tank since
I'm thinking about doing a planet.
Reagan was president.
The 300, like tearing it down when it comes time for me to do the bigger mega tank, using that tank as a big planet tank, CO2, the whole night. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Planet tanks are pretty cool, and actually I like arowanas. But
You know what? I like them too, but I still think you need like 2,000 gallon system or something,
least.
man. Seriously.
Yeah, huge
Seriously.
tanks.
And that's a lot of problem people in this hobby, they want these beautiful fish, but I don't think they really give it much thought, like on how much space that these fish
That's
truly
like some
need.
alligator dinosaur fish.
Exactly.
It's a very, very large animal.
Yeah.
They sell catfish
TMG.
and stores that grow 5 feet.
I don't keep inverts in my tank. I do have some harlequin shrimp that's in there now just to get some more a string of starfish out. I bought a pair. I like to keep them in there, but when I go to treat, I'm gonna have to remove those guys, period, point blank. And they're easy to remove, so they're not hard to catch unless they're back in the rockwork somewhere feeding.
Yeah, I can't imagine catching something like that.
Oh, they're so easy.
Really?
Or if there is no starfish, you just like I keep a chocolate chip starfish in with the Cheeto now, so I can cut off a leg if I have to, feed them, keep them alive for a little bit. They're going to come to that. And they're slow movers.
Yeah, that's true.
They're slow movers,
They're pretty too. I always like them.
and they are pretty. So I guess, do you have any a string of starfish in here anymore, or did you get rid of them?
No, they're here and there. Ask LeBron to sit in. He's too big. He wouldn't fit in his.
Right.
Just curious, will the barbecue live sale have barbecue be live sale prices? Yeah, I think we can work something out.
200.
Yeah. Who is this? Oh, Daily Reefing. Just had this baby. She's a OBGYN. He's a YouTuber too.
Oh yeah.
And he just had his baby.
Oh, there you go.
Sweet.
He gets a shout out.
Yes, Daily Reefing gets a shout out. He had his baby.
201.
I need to do that too. A little low.
Everybody's vaping here now.
So when are you not? Seriously.
I was never a smoker.
Well, that's different. That's like hookah. Now I know you've done hookah, right? Have
No.
you ever done it? You never done the hookah?
Mm-mm.
Go get a martini and no hookah. All right.
I've never tried.
We're gonna in the new building. We're just gonna have this big old. I'm gonna go to the shop next door from my house and just buy a big old hookah bong to put at the table, the round table with a whole bunch of, everybody can have a whole, 10 people sit around and just talk and hookah. How about that?
Oh, that sounds really productive. That sounds like a great use of time in it.
Help buy some time. Who knows? Plan on the greenhouse. Plans for the greenhouse.
Plans for the greenhouse.
Yeah.
So the greenhouse for the most part is going to stay largely the same, except I think that we're going to be relocating the corals that might be a little bit more sensitive to seasonal changes, things like acropora, stuff like that, into the new system, assuming that the new system isn't completely cursed, as new systems can be. But
I'll handle that. He'll be up and running like a pro in no time.
But there's a lot of stuff that does very well at the greenhouse. It just needs more space. Things like toadstools. I would love to have like fields of toadstool leathers,
Dedicated system.
or just even just
Or
something
just
like here,
in here?
Yeah,
That would be. You know what? That
fields
would be
of
nice.
bounce mushrooms. They do great in here. Like stuff that just
Good luck.
good luck. But it's the it's a lot of the really delicate stony corals that tend to have issues out here. We don't do well with acans, like micromusas.
Really? Well, you're not feeding.
Even when we do feed, it's
You really?
what you know what it almost looks like? It almost looks like my fish eat the food through them.
Hey,
Just
that's a good.
rip them in.
That's
just
a
rip
good
'em up.
possibility. My one clownfish. Anytime I feed reefroids, because I directly feed them the acans, goes straight in there, and just yanks it. You know. So that's
the thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rico trying to corrupt Than on hookah.
Never. You only get to see this side of Than right now, guys. No.
Yeah. You know, like how a lot of other like more, I guess, successful YouTubers, it's very like vlog oriented, or it's very personality driven. It's like I can't do that because I think my personality would eventually come out, and it's a very, 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 very dark, scary person.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you just have to come here for the cookout. Tricked into.
If a tank full of bounce mushrooms, I'd be rich as F. Maybe until like they just like until nobody wants them anymore.
And that's the thing. By the time that happens, I see the pricing of the. Who knows? Because this hobby it's up and down. You don't know from one day to the next what's going to be that next thing.
Right. I pretty much just collect the things that I like. Try to keep like a broad net, but it's basically stuff that I like. That's probably why I was so late to the whole bounce mushroom game.
Yeah.
It's like I think they're stupid. And eventually it was like,
yeah, and then you wish you had a whole ton of them when they were selling at $10,000 and.
yeah, probably. It's like, you know what? I could spend $10,000 right now.
Yeah.
Rico, did you get those bounce mushrooms? That's what D from Brooklyn is asking.
You have to wait and see, D, when I go live here tonight.
Put hot sauce in the hookah.
Okay.
When it comes barbecue time, yeah, it's gonna be all tears. Everybody's gonna go home remembering. So I don't think I told you this, but there's another sauce that's supposed to not be as hot as the hottest one that we tried. Mm-hmm. That is way hotter.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Way hotter than what you had.
Yeah, it was way hotter.
So
It's like it's
did they
it's
label
called,
it wrong or something?
No, well, it's like everybody on that YouTube show hates it. Like all the guests that try it, that's usually when they're like, "Oh, this is terrible." And that stuff is so much hotter than this other stuff.
So did you order some?
He did.
You get it?
He liked it. It tastes not great.
Just a dab.
Just a dab had me like, ooh. 211's not happy.
No, 211 looks like it's pretty ticked off at the moment.
Yeah. It looks like it's freshly glued, but there's a really good chance that a fish just came over and just said,
Probably.
yeah, but they grow fast. Let's see. Do chalices require high light?
I think you can get away with proper acclimating. For the most part, they're on the bottom.
The most part depends on what chalice you get, though, because chalices describes like a huge number of corals.
Exactly.
That's so different.
I tell you one that don't care, Hollywood Stunner.
Hollywood Stunner.
Yeah, I've had that growing high,
Yeah.
low,
Did they change color though?
and they will do that. Yes. Yeah.
Do you do discounts for large orders on your website? If so, what would be the point where you could do dollar-wise? To be honest, most stores couldn't hit those volumes. But your best bet would be to look at the packs that we sell. Because essentially those packs are selling it close to wholesale. And so there's like ZOA packs, there's SPS packs, there's just a random pack if you just didn't care, what you were getting. But that's probably like a good place to start if you're looking at getting into volume. Otherwise, the other kind of practical volume break you get is at $250 when you get free shipping. Shipping being redonkulously expensive. But past that, you're talking about
They've been kind of
been
kind of
big volume. So actually, it's good that we're on this Leptoceras, because certain corals like Leptoceras we have a lot of, like especially golden Leptoceras, and I was trying to offload 500 units onto my supplier, and he's like, "There's no way I can take that many." So and typically like a local fish store wouldn't be able to take near that many either.
no.
But that's when you start to get into some really good discounts.
I could take it, but I don't want to be in his boat.
500 is a lot. See these trays? So you'd need to get 20 trays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good. Oh, there's another
20 I mean
24.
fitting 20 trays into stuff, it's challenging. So you need like a 10-foot tank just empty.
Yeah, I'm good.
Happy 420? Haha, I get it.
You get it?
Took me a while. It's like,
Right, it's
not
really
May.
late.
I was thinking like, it's like, isn't that in like April? Isn't that the whole point? Yeah, we're just calling these Nathan's Acroporas for now because we don't really know what they are. I think he said that like they might be Taraki or
Taraki. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Or
it's
Echinata of some sort.
Echinata.
Yeah.
But I think it is a Taraki, if I'm not mistaken. But they're so similar. It's like I always try to say like the ORA Blue Voodoo and the Joe the Coral. You know those two? Look, Blue Voodoo for the ORA and Joe the Coral. They are so similar.
Oh yeah.
You can't really tell them apart.
Are they the same thing?
No,
Okay.
they're actually two different things. And it's like aviapore and goniapore or whatever, you know. But you kind of got to look,
count the segments and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, there's so many different places that name their stuff differently. So like even like places that sometimes will buy volume from us, they'll rename it also. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Well, it's confusing to the hobbyists because they think they're getting something else or something different, and it looks different because it colored up different and the whole 9 yards, or maybe the growth pattern changed a little bit because of the flow, and when they get it home, it turns out to be, you know, over some time it'll change to whatever, you know, color up the same way that whatever they already had. I've done that. I've done that myself.
I've done that plenty. I've purchased my own corals back.
Yeah.
Bought them again.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have Walt Disney's? I don't. I don't have any of the really crazy acros because we don't really... I mean, our acro systems are okay. They're not really where I'd like them to be, so once the new building gets up and running, that'll be a lot more dedicated towards that.
More stability. Well, shooting for more stability.
Oh,
gotta get past his dad first.
Those systems, I expect to be like ridiculously clinically solid, like
yeah,
covering my tanks and everything solid.
We're gonna see.
Dan, you should join Rico's live stream. I've never actually done that, have I? I mean, I've like.
No, you came in.
Wait.
Yeah,
well, no, I meant like live.
Oh.
But no, I've hopped in occasionally. Some of us have to work.
He's always working though.
I'm always working. Like right now, I'm basically doing like two full-time jobs, kinda. Just because it's like, you're doing Tidal Gardens stuff and then also being like a general contractor for the thing next door. Like that's a lot. It's a lot of effort.
We'd have to probably plan it on one of the nights he doesn't feel like doing a Friday live stream, and I'll do it and that or something.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that, or what? Is it just a hit and miss, or what?
Well, I was gonna do one yesterday, except I had a sore throat, so I'm like,
dude, I was whooped. Like I laid around all day. I couldn't make it to the gym or anything. Like my body was just like,
you know. And then I have to get like my voice up to do this show, so it's like I'm not gonna like mess myself up more yesterday
to sit here for another 6 hours.
Yeah, to mess myself up even more. Tony S., have you planned on your new lighting for the new building? If so, what choice? I have not. I really, 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 really hope that by the time I have tanks with water and it's time to do lighting, that I will have fallen in love with an LED of some sort. I want to like you, LED.
I'm
make
really
it hard.
shooting. I'm really shooting for him to everything over there, strictly Radions, hair point blank. They're true. They do an awesome job. There's a lot of big distributors that are running vats with just those, and the corals are sick. They're colorful. They're sick, and that's my hope. But at the end of the day, it's first off, it's who's going to the best deal is going to play a big part, and what you can even get.
Because there's going to be so many that have to buy. That's the
exactly.
thing. Like 3 figures, as in 3 figures of fixtures.
Yeah.
Like not dollars. I wish.
No, 3 figures of fixtures.
Yeah, it could be a lot. It could be a lot of money.
Potential. Well, yeah. No matter how even if you got a sweet deal, still adds up because you're in the 3 figures.
Right. Right. But at the same time, I don't want to mess around with getting poor quality just for the sake of saving money. That sounds so hypocritical because I'm buying $100 T5 fixtures, but they're disposable fixtures. Which, by the way, I've never disposed of one. I call them disposable, and they've lasted.
You're right.
But over there, like I'm thinking about trying like Abyss pumps, and outfitting.
I
And
told you.
if I like them, the whole thing might be a biz. All the pumps.
You hear this, guys? Abyss. Do you understand?
Like everything
That's like
I've
the
heard.
Tesla.
Everything I've heard about those pumps is that they're like the real deal. Because I'm getting a little impatient with pumps that fail, and there's a lot of those.
You know what? At this point, for something all the way new, wouldn't be a bad idea trying giving them a try. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? Be like anything else?
We can move on from this guy. He's clearly not gonna.
Yeah, he's not going to smile for us.
It's a $20 Zoa. Use your imagination if you're feeling lucky. I'm not gonna wait for him. Yeah, but you know, your return pump has to be fail-safe, like completely. I don't have any problem sleeping at night wondering about my return pump.
But with that being said, if you do go with that return pump, I still suggest to buy a second one as a backup.
To swap out or both running.
No, well, to swap out in case something happened,
I could see that.
or have it already installed or connected, but just not running.
So this is all brainstorming stuff, many months ahead of schedule. But what I was thinking is running a closed loop with one pump, and then running a return with another pump. But basically, having all these pumps be the exact same model.
You definitely want that. So when you need to change out,
if I need to change out anything, it's just a quick swap out.
Exactly.
What on earth is that?
What?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Is that even? Is that rock? It's playing this optical illusion on me.
It's got to be something, but it ain't moving.
No.
So that's a good thing. It's not moving.
It's not moving. That's weird. Is that a nudie on 224? Looks like it. I didn't see it. Could be. Yeah. It was a nudie. Could be. Yeah. 227's shut.
Ben's like,
all right. Move on. Next. Okay, 228 is not shut.
Go ahead, 228, 227 shut.
Yeah, this is 228. Yeah. We placed an order for more fish, and in that tank, one of the new fish did die, unfortunately. It was like one of these little yellow banana wrasses, and I think it got harassed to death because it was like breathing all heavy the next day. And so that was another one of my pest eaters that I need. See, Ian Reefs, it looks like a spider, but at the same time, that's not the spiders I'm used to seeing.
Because it didn't move.
It didn't move, and like the legs would have been pointed up, and they don't do that. Trust me, I know. I know what those spiders look like, and we haven't seen one in forever. And of all those of the spider type pests, wrasses destroy those things.
Oh yeah,
like just completely destroy those things. So that would be tough because in that tank there's a Melanaris. There used to be
eyes. There's a couple. You got the leopard wrasse in there.
Yeah, that's a new one. The leopard wrasse is new.
Where's the yellow? Is the yellow wrasse still in there too?
There's a little yellow one here. The yellow one there died yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But then there's another wrasse. There's a 6 line, but I don't think they do anything.
Six lines do, but they're a different kind. Like I don't know, they're more of the coral. They're more of the inspector of the coral versus.
Yeah, they're not like a Melanaris. Certainly.
No, not by any means.
We also finally got a what do you call it? A possum wrasse, but it's not in that tank. Yeah, supposedly those are very good.
How's it working out for you?
I just hope it's alive. Yeah, we saw him. He looks cool.
That's good.
But they're supposed to be very good pest control.
231.
231, okay.
Mushrooms.
What happens if it's not encrusted? Will it eventually grow over? If everything works out well, yes. Yes, they do grow over.
What are you talking about? The chalice?
I think they're talking about zoas.
Zoas? Oh.
I think so. I'm kind of out of the loop. Luckily, Ben is answering questions. This is it, guys. We're coming on that final stretch. I'm going to use Bayer to dip, but I've read they can harm shrimp. Yeah, Bayer can definitely harm shrimp.
233.
So I don't know if it... So some people like to pop corals off of their plug. I generally wouldn't do that. Because the hardest thing is to get coral reconnected down to another substrate. So making that harder... I mean, that could be the difference between life and death, really, of a newly introduced coral.
Yep. Dip, do your dip, do whatever you want to do. As far as it, put it in a tank and leave it alone. Is the best thing you can do. Especially a new introduced coral to any system.
So I did a video on clove polyps recently,
I seen it.
and so apparently the blue polyps are not cloves officially. They're not clavillaria. They're something else. Somebody else in the comments mentioned it, and sure enough, that's what they are. But you know, it's for practical purposes, for like the hobby. If you say blue cloves,
That's what everybody knows about. Exactly.
Yeah. So
So the scientific name is considered what? Or
it's something completely different, completely different that I've never heard of. But
hold on. You never heard of it?
never heard of it.
So if you've never heard of it, I know I have never heard of it.
Yeah, it's news to me.
So somebody hit us with the scientific fact.
Yep.
Bang.
Rico's blue.
Yeah. Do they ever cause a problem for your acros? It's stinging at the base and whatnot.
You were there. You see. I mean, to me,
I thought it looked fine.
listen. If they are, if anything, the acros are maybe stinging it back and keeping them at bay. I don't know.
So somebody else was saying that they, for a lot of stony corals, it's fine, but the problem that you run into is zoas.
Soft, yeah, they will get up in there and then choke them out.
Yeah.
But I do have zoas in there that are very misspelled. Aviapor,
Terrible. You're fired.
He didn't have spell check on.
It's like spell check thought it was wrong to like the correct spelling. I was like, that's wrong too.
238.
So yeah, I see a lot of people that I don't know why. I've heard people saying that it actually killed their corals.
The blue stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well,
Because this ain't the first tank I've done this.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe sometimes the coral itself might have just been
But
sensitive.
my thing is, I have not had this. This ain't the first time I've done this to its system.
239.
How lucky can I be? Is kind of my thought on it. So I don't get it. I'm not gonna say that they wouldn't be some kind of chemical warfare that's going on, but I think it's blown out of proportion when it comes to people that hate on it. Now they're very evasive. I mean, if they like your system, they're going to
Go crazy.
go crazy.
It doesn't grow on your back glass, does it? Or do you scrape it off?
Oh no, there's some back there, but
Okay. Didn't
very
notice.
yeah, it's in the back, like low, nothing high, or on the weir box a little bit or something. But
Can you talk about sea fans? I'd love to get one for my tank. We the ones that we're selling there are photosynthetic, and that's kind of something you want to look out for, because there's both photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic sea fans, and unfortunately the non-photosynthetic ones are really
those
challenging.
but those are the prettiest
They're
ones.
by far the prettiest. They have yellow polyps or rainbow
those are the
polyps.
awesome ones, man.
Yeah, but unfortunately they really don't do well. You pretty much have to make an entire system dedicated towards them, and I don't even know if anybody's really figured that out yet. Not that I can think of. I can't even think of public aquariums that have done that very well. But as far as like their care, just give them enough flow, because they also shed their skin every now and again, and you need to have enough flow to dislodge that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they're not that bad. So it's 236 photosynthetic or non-photosynthetic. I'm gonna guess, Amber, that you're looking at a sea fan, and those should all be photosynthetic.
Bounce mushroom.
Bounce.
That's about the size of mine that I got. Same size, probably.
Oh, so you got a bounce mushroom today?
No, I've been had one.
Spoiler.
3.
At Tidal Gardens, are called sea fans. I'm surprised that nobody's mistaken my name for Fan, F-A-N. I get Dan Stan a lot.
I had somebody else said that to me, and I'm like, it's Fan. I need to get me another copper band.
I'm so mad. Like the two I bought got killed.
244.
Yeah, like they were nice too. They're like so alert and happy, and
You get yours to eat any kind of flake food or anything?
not flake, but they eat frozen.
Frozen?
Yeah. The best thing is just live rock. Lots of live rock.
Yeah.
By far the best. Almost done, you guys.
245.
Okay. So that is the last of those guys. Now I do have two other things that we kind of just have, and I have to show videos of those because they don't they don't move well. So the first one that we'll do is these guys here. So these are some bubble tips. So this multi-color variety is kind of like the more orange and green. And lastly, the very last thing is going to be some Codium macroalgae. So if you're looking for some Refugium macroalgae, you can try this stuff. So, long story short, that's that.
So for your viewers, are you going to explain what Codium, the algae, what exactly, how tough is it, how good is it, what do you like about it, what do you don't like about it?
Do you have this?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it from me, didn't
Yeah.
you? Okay. This is one of the few things that like herbivores don't eat.
You're right.
It's like it doesn't like go completely invasive or anything. Like it's very manageable. But yeah, I wonder if this could be like something like very Chaeto-esque in that it just can just kind of grow there. And you can harvest it out every now and again. Like pods love growing in it. Yeah, I think it's super easy to grow too.
Do you think it's does a better job with nutrients export than Chaeto, or would you classify it as about the same?
See, I don't know because I haven't done any of the studies around it. Because like Bulk Reef actually did some studies with Chaeto.
Yeah, Chaeto with the lights.
Yeah, and it was like highly productive.
Right.
So I don't know how this would compare to that. But I do know that this is way easier to handle than Chaeto because like Chaeto breaks apart. And also, technically, you could probably grow this in a tank with tangs and fox faces and not have any issue. So if you wanted to do like some planted look,
I think my fox face would eat it.
Mine doesn't.
I think mine would eat it.
You can try. You can try.
So what do you think they don't touch it for? Because of whatever the oh, is it?
Could be. They might not just like the flavor. It's hard to say.
Would you say that it's utilizing instead of some of the magnesium or something like that? That some of them use more of a calcium.
I'm not really sure. I haven't noticed any drop in anything like that.
Well, we wouldn't with calcium reactors, even if we wouldn't notice it anyway.
No.
So,
but it's a kind of an oddball.
More than that to cause a fluctuation with calcium reactors to budge,
Yeah.
to notice anything anyway. Really.
Yeah. But that's that, you guys. Thanks, Rico, for stopping
Yeah,
by.
no
Always good to see you.
Yeah.
Makes the live show go faster and smoother. I'm probably been a little bit worse about actually getting to chat questions, but that's why we have Ben answering everything anyway. So
Yeah.
sometimes you guys got to answer twice. So, anyways, that pretty much wraps it up. Rico's probably going to be live streaming when he gets back home, so you can check him out. And thank you all for attending. Hopefully, we'll do another live show before the next live sale, but we'll see. We'll see what we can get up to. So anyways, thank you all very much, and I'll see you all next time.